Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
The Wall Street Journal condemning the ongoing detention of a reporter in Russia.
A total outrage is how Wall Street Journal editor-in-chief Emma Tucker described the detainment of reporter Evan Gershkovich on Fox and Friends.
He was out doing his job, and it's completely unacceptable.
Tucker says Gershkovich was very popular in the newsroom, a son of Russian Jewish immigrants from the Soviet Union who became interested in his Russian heritage. Gershkovich had just written a piece on the struggles of Russia's economy not long before his detainment. He's currently facing espionage charges that could carry up to 20 years in prison. Tucker says his parents are coping, but struggling because they can't get messages to their son. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The White House says it's doing everything it can to get Gershkovich and another detained American, Paul Whelan, home. A deadly construction accident at New York's JFK Airport. The Port Authority, which runs the airport, says 2 workers got trapped under construction rubble in a trench this morning. Some 60 firefighters working to get them out, but both workers were pronounced dead at the scene. An investigation underway. Italy's government becomes the first to ban ChatGPT. It's concerned about artificial intelligence grows.
Officials are accusing parent company OpenAI of illegally collecting personal user data and not having an age verification system. Now, Italian regulators have given the company 20 days to adjust or face a 20 million euro fine.
Fox Business's Kelly O'Grady, a consortium of tech leaders, recently publicly urging a pause in AI development. Recapping stocks, the Dow rallies up 327 points. The S&P also higher, the NASDAQ finishing lower. Oil prices soaring back over $80 a barrel after top oil-producing nations announced another round of production cuts. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tinactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Half a day and Good Morning Guam at 6:06 on Tuesday, April 4. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 26-year-old Johnson Naik has been arrested for possessing meth and for burglarizing a home. The homeowner told police that he had discovered a number of items missing from his property the day before. His surveillance camera captured several individuals loading a distinctive gray Toyota Highlander with items from his property. The victim later saw the same vehicle at a Shell gas station and followed it down a swamp road after calling police. When authorities confronted him, a plastic bag with suspected meth was found in the vehicle, and the passenger, Mylene Aizawa, was sitting on top of the drugs. Naik denied involvement in the burglary until he was shown images taken from the surveillance footage. He then admitted he agreed to help the others in the video steal the items in exchange for drugs to sell. He was detained with cash bail set at $25,000. Aizawa was charged with possession and released on personal recognizance. Meanwhile, the 5 men accused in a deadly stabbing on Woostic Road in Derrida will go to trial next month. Samson Shapusi, Allison Joe, Darrow Isti, Elson Joe, and Cyrus Matthias appeared before Judge Vern Perez in Superior Court yesterday. Only Shapusi remains locked up in DOC and faces the most serious charge of murder. He declined 2 plea offers from the AG's office. The 4 other men, who are all charged with aggravated assault, are still waiting to receive an offer from the government. The 5 were arrested following a deadly stabbing last August that claimed the life of Kieferson Aiken. The killing was caught on camera outside of the Derrida Center. Jury selection is set to begin on May 18. We'll have more news after this.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and urgent care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
On Friday, AG Doug Moylan declined to sign the Eagles Field lease, citing legislative appropriation authority that was bypassed. He also rejected a provision that allows a military takeover in the event of a national emergency. Rear Admiral Benjamin Nicholson had set an April 14 deadline to close the deal, or the military will move on. Moylan says even if he rejected the deal, it still wasn't over. The AG described the contract as almost civil in nature, saying if the federal government wanted to give the governor more time, they could make that decision on their side. He adds that the governor could either request for more time or talk to the legislature to work it out. Nicholson declined to say if the Navy would extend the deadline or renegotiate the lease. His spokesperson reiterated the Admiral's previous public statement, saying should the government of Guam decide not to sign the lease, the Department of the Navy will use the land for other mission-critical requirements. The governor's office says that the lease remains under review. And 3 bills to repair GDOE schools are now law with some modifications. Governor Lulian Guerrero signed Bill 46, which will provide temporary expedited procurement protest procedures for acquisitions funded with ARP money assigned to GDOE. The governor line item vetoed Bill 32, removing $10 million of the $30 million eyed for school repairs. Committee on Education Chair and bill sponsor Senator Chris Barnett says that while he's disappointed with the decision, $20 million is still a huge win for the schools, covering important projects that may not be covered by federal funds. And Bill 29, which moves up GDOE schools' date of compliance with health and sanitation rules and regulations to the upcoming school year, lapsed into law. And those are your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Ray with your weather.
All right. I'll work on it. I was just taking a look at some of the printouts here this morning because I wanted to find a particular magistrate that involved a woman that got pulled over by the cops. Maybe you've seen this already. She got pulled over, and in the course of the investigation, questions and answers, she decided she needed to go pee.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah, right there. It's, excuse me, hold on a second. Leading the officers to believe that it is possible she might have been imbibing in some kind of alcoholic fun that night. I don't know. I'll dig that one out here in just a couple of minutes. 6:11 in the morning. Partly sunny in today's forecast. Highs near 88 degrees. Light and variable winds becoming southerly. 5 to 7 miles an hour this morning. There might be some isolated showers tonight for sure. Under partly cloudy skies and overnight lows of about 76 degrees. It's mostly sunny tomorrow with highs around 87, and tomorrow night partly cloudy with overnight lows 75 degrees. Over the next couple of days with the heat index, it'll feel like 92 out there. 20% chance of rain working today. Sunrise in 4 minutes at 6:15 or so. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:33. There it is. News and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 68 years.
Half a day. This is Clara Manglona from Security Title with an important warning. Wire fraud is real, and home buyers and sellers are one of the biggest targets, even on Guam. When sending money by wire transfer, be sure to confirm the wire instructions by phone, not email. In this case, it's good to be suspicious and know who you're dealing with. Let the professionals at Security Title work with you to minimize loss due to wire fraud. We are here to help.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches.
Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
I like that. 612 in the morning. Portions brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yellow candles and all kinds of other wax from bees products. Must be a big day for bee-man Dennis Larson. Maybe a little bit more on that a little bit later on to figure out what those things are. This one here, Donna D looks at that, says, oh, wow, egg yolks. No, that's honey from bees. Again, to Dennis Larson and more of that product that's working out there. I don't know. I said I've been lurking around TikTok yesterday, trying to ruin my life with social media, and I hit on something. I didn't save it. I probably should have saved it and followed the person that was posting it. But there was a guy that was showing you how to make mead.
Oh,
how do so just like you get a like a gallon jug or something like that, and you put a whole bunch of honey in it, and then you put some water in it, and then you put the yeasty stuff inside,
ferment,
and maybe some lemon peels or something like that. Not a whole lot, just enough for flavor.
Do you remember that stuff we got? Remember that stuff we got from him?
Oh my God, yeah,
mead?
the mead dude.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're still live.
Oh, it was. Yeah. I used that to mow the yard last time. Just kind of.
It's running the gas mower.
Yeah, it's the people from centuries ago. I mean, they had it going on. They knew what was going on. You figure, look, I always look at things like how did people do this years and years and years ago? You think about it, like 1899, and the first of the Americans arrived on the USS Brutus, carrying my great grandfather. And you get a whole bunch of these Marine guys, and they step off the boat, and they go, "Where's the store for the beer?" And they said, "We don't have that here." And the first thing these guys figured out how to do was how to make booze. I mean, all kinds of other stuff, sleep, shelter, the hierarchy of needs and all of that
booze
stuff.
First.
But while they were working through all of that, I'm sure there was one guy his sole job was, okay, I got to figure out how do we get a still work in here? How do we make something? The locals already had tuba, right? The tuba, and then these guys go in there and they figure out how to put it through a still and make Aggie and all of that kind of thing. I'm just saying. You got to think in terms of, and who knows, what with the nukes and the North Koreans and the Chinese, we might be able to go back to those days in an awful big hurry. So folks might need to figure out how to live without electricity and the modern conveniences that we have. Can you imagine the first day?
No, I can't.
After that, without the internet, can you just see our snowflake children freaking out because they can't get to their TikTok? Anyway, 6:16. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled as usual to be here with you, even though I feel a little bit out of sorts. I am a fish out of water today, and I'll tell you why. I'll explain the process of putting together a 4-hour program of general interest, smart aleck comments, and political gossip. And it generally starts with access to news and information that I didn't personally have to spend any time going out and fetching. For $1.75, used to be able to go to the gas station and pick up a couple of the newspapers, see what was going on, go by the KUAM news sites and the PNC news sites and see what was going on there for almost no charge. And And here we find ourselves this morning somewhat, as I said, a fish out of water. The Pacific Daily News no longer has a physical paper presence.
Oh, wow.
And the guys over at the Post, I don't know what happened. I honestly don't. Did their machine break all of a sudden because
I don't know, man.
Sympathy pains.
Like
missed opportunities, what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know, I would have gone out and I would have, you know, and they were already 75 cents, already cheaper. But I don't know what's going on. There was no newspaper that we subscribed to here today, and you have not been able to find any in the 3 or 4 places you went.
No, there's nothing.
Not
out
even
there.
yesterday's, huh? Not even
I saw an
yesterday's
Island
Post?
Times from last month.
An Island
I
Times,
pretty
okay.
good, though.
Yeah.
I almost got it.
See, so there I was joking last week about how weird it was, you know, to be talking about a newspaper that isn't an actual newspaper anymore. Thinking about the old Mariana's Variety and the Tribune and all of those. Now starting to miss those guys. Seeing how everybody else might be kind of giving up the ghost. Is it possible the guys over at the Post said, no PDN. What's the point? It's the why
We want a raise.
Why hurry through it? Yes,
we need a raise.
A 22% increase. So, so I've had to do what Donna does now, and Mana did before her, and that is basically go to the online versions of the newspapers to see what's going on, the online presence that they have. And I hate it.
I do too. I don't understand the order. So you don't know what's on the front page. It's just like it's just there.
Here's stories. And
Yeah,
it might, if you didn't
it's not even complete.
No, I don't. Like there's another story about Tom Fisher.
Yeah, it's hiding somewhere.
And then where's the rest of the other stories that are supposed to be in there? I am not a fan of digital newspapers. Never have been. You know, I like the idea. My preference is, and I suppose somewhere around there I might be able to come up with it. My preference is here is the link to like a PDF copy of the newspaper, so you can flip the pages. Because the online one, the regular websites, they don't have the ads. I want to see ads. I want to see notices, that kind of thing. You know, there was certain government activities, because that's where the real news is. Who's having meetings? Where are we going to have a discussion about this, that, and the other? From the ABCs and the municipal planning councils and all of that. That's where guys like me find the very interesting stuff that's happening in your village. I'm just going to have to make it up here this morning and fly by the seat of my pants as we do. I'm not alone, though. I'm not alone in this journey. No, Real Joe is going to take care of news. No, you get the phone.
I'll do whatever, man.
Why don't you just get the phone when people call it? 888-825-5888-TALK. Use that method if you want to talk to Real Joe. And yeah, depending on what it is that you're talking about, maybe an opportunity to spend some time on the air with me. You know, just you shine Joe on, and he'll let you all the way through to the actual radio show. Donna D is going to take care of news and headlines because she knows better than me how to navigate the actual websites where the news comes from. But I've still got access to all the things that I think are going to be interesting. Look around what's happening in the market, plus an occasional.
Use the e-edition of PDN.
I don't think they've sent the link out yet.
Yeah.
Just go to the old link.
Is that the way it works?
That's what I did. I went to the old link and clicked on editions. And
Well,
you're not a fish out of water.
Kind of too late now.
Let's stay over there.
This is the 1, 2, 3.
I've got to sort out how, because I can't read and talk at the same time. I'm one of those kinds of guys. If I read and talk at the same time, it's because I'm actually reading it on the air. World Bee Day in May coming up. We will want to come in and do a spot around the first week of May, says B-Man Dennis Larson. And by way of convincing us that it would be a good idea to have him in the studio, looks like there's another bottle of some kind of bee whiskey. Mead, as it were. All right, well then get a hold of Real Joe, and Real Joe will set something up. We'll get you into the studio, lickety-split, so we can talk about all the bee activities here on Guam and young bee people winning awards and the like. So, television, Donna D News, Real Joe. Okay, so the rest of it is the Me Machine. 797-825-5797-TALK. If you've got some interesting things that you'd like to show on the screen that maybe you found while you were cruising the internet, audio, video, whatever, happy to put those on the air for you. I got this from a buddy of mine, and kind of in line with the gender fluidity that we seem to be having here. It looks like it's a pregnant man caressing his belly. He says, "Congratulations, it's a beer." Yeah.
I want to go to the gender reveal, Ray.
You know, I think I know what you mean.
I just want to be there.
I know exactly what you mean. So I had an opportunity yesterday when the program was over. I got to the legislature's website and was able finally to download a copy of the new Will Parkinson legislation that would allow for. If you want to, Real Joe.
I want to, Ray. I really want to.
You can go to Vital Statistics and change your gender.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that going to be fun?
Do I have to wear a different outfit?
You know what? It's not very clear what the requirements are. My nails did, and my hair did. Yeah. And Act 2, a man, blah, 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 blah,
I
blah.
have a question.
I'll try to answer. Go ahead.
What gender is a they?
A they?
They, them?
I've found that people with those genders are individuals that it's hard to tell like in real life anyway. You ever watch on Saturday Night Live? They used to have a character named Pat. You don't remember? Character named Pat.
The ambiguous Pat.
Gender ambiguous is the only way to describe it. You look at is it he Pat, she Pat? We don't know. I mean, I'll see if I can find a picture of it online, or maybe somebody that's got more time.
God,
so I think that is an example of a they them. But that's not one of the options here. There are still, when you go to the Department of Vital Records and Stats or whatever, your options are still going to be male or female. Unless there's a change in that. But right off the top, it's allowing individuals to change the legal sex designation on their birth certificates. And the thing that caught my eye right off the top is in the whereas is a certificate or record registered under this article may be amended only in accordance with this article and regulations thereunder adopted by the department to protect the integrity and accuracy of vital statistic records. So in order to protect the integrity and the accuracy of vital statistic records, what they're doing is they're saying you can change those anytime you want to. Well, there's things that you need. You need like a letter from the court and stuff like that. The date of amendment and summary description of the evidence submitted in support of the amendment shall be endorsed or made part of. Now, that's language that's already in there, and then they go around and they start adding other things to it. The sex of the individual shall be amended on the birth certificate by the Office of Vital Statistics to reflect the sex that such individual identifies. No other requirements, such as, but not limited to, surgical, hormonal, or any other treatment or therapy, and shall be conditioned upon the approval of legal sex designation change or subsequent name change application. So it's just the sex that you are identifying with now. On alert.
Yes. Can we just put yes by sex?
I'm feeling so girly today. So I'll go and I'll take care of all the paperwork and vital stats and then change it. And who knows, maybe I'll change my mind later on. Maybe I'll go, starting to feel masculine again. I don't know. I was on a low testosterone day. What can I say?
That's going to cost money, though.
How do I change all of that stuff back? But the interesting thing is what happens now with the everything is under seal because we want to maintain the privacy of the individual, so people don't know they're crazy. I don't know. You know what? We're going to go through all the hoops on this. A major conversation, and this might be applied to by like 5 people. It's like we went through all that hassle with the Cannabis Control Board, and what do we got here? 4 applications.
Yeah.
Went through all that medicinal marijuana stuff. What do we got? Like 4 or 5 people that applied for it. I don't, maybe there's more.
That's why the fees are expensive, right?
But that's right. We're gonna make it pricey as hell. More on that a little bit later on. 6:25 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. There are other items that have been added now to the roster of measures at the legislature that they will consider as the representatives of the people of Guam. Sometimes you start looking at some of those things and you go, oh, this is why the governor didn't want them on the hospital team. I get it now. I understand. Okay.
See what you did there?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, 6:26. But I got to do shouts to the people on our team here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
my God, Donna, where do you get this stuff from? Donna's asking off the air. She's like, wait. So what if you're born a hermaphrodite? What what? And I'm thinking,
Donna, let's have lunch today, Donna.
What bizarre nature books are you reading these days?
That's a legit question, dude.
I don't know. Do me a favor. Stick Macris on the list, Macris or Tom Shea.
Dr. Macris.
Yeah, I don't know where. I don't know where Tom Shea is. I mean, I try to follow the guy around on Facebook, and when I see pictures of the grandbaby, I assume that he's in Hawaii.
I'm in Guam. I'm in Hawaii. I'm in Guam. Mahalos.
Yeah, right. It's got to get those pictures of him running up and down the aisles at the hospital, like a man in motion. I think I wonder if the Admiral wishes he had pictures like that. Just one staffer. Okay, you stay over here at the end of the hallway and then take video of me running down the hallway.
Full sprint.
Exactly. 6:27 in the morning. All right, so at number one here today, my Auntie Bennett Lujan Duenas from Family Finance. Good to see you online, Auntie. Nice to have you online. I got the beautiful Sarita Garin asking, are we there yet? I don't know. Sarita, Thirsty Thursday, we got to put together a plan. Wow. Stash is already reaching out going, okay, are we Thirsty Thursday? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I might, because there's no work on Friday morning.
Support group, right?
Yes, exactly. But there's also a part of me that wants to wake up early and practice the cocoa route, while I can. Do it on Friday, Saturday, a little bit on Sunday.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I want to do.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, but I don't know. Thirsty Thursday sounds good too. I got Vince Delgado online. Big man Rico Bancaflor says Pika's best. The point. Yeah, somebody was asking about that the other day. Says, are you going to go for a three-peat on Pika's best? And I said, if there's still a Pika, if there's still a newspaper around that time, I don't know if there will still be a Pika or a PDN in November, August, or September. I got Big Man Rico B. Johnny Rosario from Candid is online this morning.
Morning, Johnny.
Hello, beautiful. Nice to see you there. Mike Grace Bloss is there, and Jesse Ninetti Aurelio Pareda. Buenas and Afideta. Jack Larimer says, good morning. Hey, Will Parkinson, can you make a law to change my age? Because I want to make myself feel better. A younger or older, Jack?
You look great, Jack.
Why not? Why not? You know what? I'd like to be able to celebrate the anniversary of the Planet of the Apes every year. And it came out. I can't go because I was born in 1962, and Planet of the Apes didn't come along until 1968. It was always one of my favorite TV shows.
Who was
I read
in
the
that?
books.
Charlton Heston?
Charlton, get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape! Yeah, Charlton Heston was in the original one. Lonnie Solis is there. Ron Castro, Jason at Military Auto Source. They got there's Dennis Larson. Good old Guam, honey. Stay tuned, Guam. Sherry Iriarte, buenas to you. Trina San Augustin saying buenas to the Point fam and Joe. What?
Hey, morning, Trina.
Joe's the crazy uncle of the family.
Over there?
Yeah, what are you bringing for lunch?
What's cooking? Good looking.
I got MT Farron, Bandits there. Tony and Annette and Pinko Ada. Remember, you haven't heard the last of Tony Ada. Oh, Gina Marie Tenorio calls saying, good morning, enjoying the show on spring break. Well, by all means, get involved here. What's happening on the ground? What are you, because it's a break, obviously, from the students as an educator, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, bless her soul.
But yes, Gina, what else are you on break from? Tell me about the crazy stuff happening in the school. Joe Dizon is there. Dwayne Santos. That's the way I'm saying your name from now on. Dwayne Santos. Good to have Matt Galendez there. Lonnie
morning,
Jean
Matt.
Flores saying, good morning, Ray and the morning crew. Et Napati and Sheila Morgan. Nadine Gokwe, Palomo Online. Jen Uggan Conception. Buenas and half a day to you. That's all? What is it? There's almost 100 people online, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of actual names of people that are chiming in.
It went by fast.
I must have. Man, sorry. Wait, I can always check that. Maybe there's a bunch of people on the YouTube side. Who's your Big Daddy 06 checking in
Morning,
at number one
Daddy.
there? Good man. JW is on point. Pete say hoy. Sandra say al. Buenas and half a day to
Sandra.
MP Ogo. That's the secretary. No,
That's the cops.
Yeah.
That's the YouTube cops.
The sergeant at arms of the program here, Lupang Guam. Hey, it's Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday, says JW. Ken Brown out in the where's he at? California out there somewhere. Half a day to you. And Joey Kitsutsu, that's Kitsutsu in Japan. He has not given me a weather report. He has not given me the exchange rate. We'll work on a couple of things over the course of the morning. I'm sure I'm not the only one who is super confused with the politically correctness, says Nadine Gogui Palomo. And here's the thing, is they're talking a lot about inclusive language. And you know, in my mind, there's not a whole lot wrong with inclusive language. It's just that it's like when it's forced on you. Like, you know, when it's like, you know, somebody comes to you and you say, "Hey, Chuck, how you doing?" And he looks at you and says, "It's Charles." Please don't call me Chuck.
Yes,
I'd like to
man.
be referred to as Charles. It was Charlie Sheen. Didn't he do that for a while?
Yeah,
He didn't
yeah.
want to be Charlie Sheen. He wanted to be Charles.
He was high, Ray.
Yeah. But I mean, so it's like everybody else has got to put up with it, you know. And I just and people like when they do that, I'm like, okay, Chuck, whatever you say, that's you can go along with it as long as you want to. But just because you're into something doesn't mean that I have to give into that as well. So you know what? Here's the thing, sweetheart. Just you do you, okay? Don't worry about. Everybody's going to be offended by something somewhere, and if that's the kind of thing that people around you get easily offended by, find other people to be around. Just
that's
you know what?
not your people.
Yeah. Find, you know what? Tower of London, Thursday night. There
you go, fish and chips.
Stash is going to be there. You never know who's going to be walking in the room, including me, Jen Uggan Conception, Anna Lizama, the Christine Oliver. Good to see you there. Jose Martinez says, I was born in CA, Hacienda Heights. Perhaps there was no Guamanian option, so my birth states my race as white.
Oh, wow, colonizer.
Colonizer,
Jose,
right.
you colonizer.
I'm not sure how to discuss this in
so
therapy. Stephen, Liz, Amaguin, Matt Galendez, Steve Love, 5,000 behind Carabao today, Ray. Oh, the 5K behind Carabao today is
yeah, Ray, 5,000.
He put the 5K, so I thought he was talking about 5,000.
Mr. Love.
It's five. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Because
you ran yesterday.
I did. I went to the gym yesterday, but now, so the guys. There's a thing every Tuesday night since they opened basically. Dan and Aaron over at Southern Mountain Gear host a bunch of people, a variety.
I watched them.
Backgrounds, right? And so they start around there, and we'll run southbound Marine Corps Drive, take the turnover at 9th Street, and come back on O'Brien Drive, and then usually a loop around so you can get to your 3.1 miles of to make it a perfect 5K. And then you Carabao, and then but what I like to do,
the rewards.
I'll go over to the gym and run my 5K in the aircon, and then go over to Carabao. That's and wait for everybody. But lately I've been waiting inside because, again, it's air conditioned on the inside. And I spent a year and a half outside during the COVID times. But thanks for the reminder. You never know. I might hang out there, might lurk with my friends. Darlene Canetta saying, have a day from Arizona. Good to have you online out there as well. So 634, 888-8255, 888-TALK. Again, the telephone number, 7978255. If you've got some groovy means. We're going to spend some time with former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez, who was just recently in California. Went out, he was there for the Pacific Islands Festival something. I forget what the A stands for. I might make it up. But anyway, so he was out there for that, which is a good time, although a different venue, I think, than the one when I was there. Because when I was there, I think we were like a ski beach or something like that out in San Diego, California. And among the things that will stand out in your memory, you will know you've been there if you stood in a line longer than about an hour to get your I'm trying to remember, is it a fuck guy hat? Or no, what's the other one? Who's the other guys?
Who's the other guys? Most hated.
No. Next one.
Hafaloa.
No, I can't remember. But they've got there's a line of hats, crowns. They're crowns hats. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's a line of Crowns hats, and they got they update them every once in a while, new designs and that kind of thing. And there are people that will literally stand in line for hours to get their hands on these hats.
Local drop,
and
man.
they're not cheap. When I supply chain issues or something. By the time they get to California, these things are like super expensive. And and the fun thing is, I wanted to buy one. I wanted to buy a pair. You know what?
Aww.
Just to see people's faces when I take the sticker off. And I bend the cap.
Oh, no.
Hey, what's this thing about stuffing your ears inside the hat?
Yeah.
What?
That's a hammer, hammer style.
Is it?
Hammer. Yeah.
6:36 on the Ray Gibson Show. All right, so we got him coming up a little bit later on, and but there was another thing that he sent me that he got from somebody in the hospitality community. It is a magazine article. I'm trying to sort out which magazine it was. The headline is "Holidays in the Un-Pacific." I don't know what that means. I don't like it already.
That's a jab.
I think so. I think it's a snub. It says Guam, where America's next war may begin. The tourist island and vital military outpost is surprisingly vulnerable.
You don't say.
What have I been saying? Like many of America's bases in the Pacific, Guam mixes hedonism with war jitters. Japanese and South Korean visitors revel on the sand of Tumon Bay, a coral reef lagoon above. F-15 fighters and B-1 bombers bank to land at Andersen Air Force Base nearby and below. Nuclear attack submarines slip in and out of Apra Harbor. And it goes on a very interesting catch-up, if you will, of the strategic importance of the island, which obviously we all know, number one, and just how vulnerable we are to certain kinds of offensive military weapons for which there are defense systems that are in research right now that haven't quite been put together. But this is the part that pissed me off when I read it. Never mind mixing hedonism and war jitters. I don't know that there's a lot of people around here with war jitters. But it says, where America's day begins, as Guam likes to sell itself, parentheses, incorrectly.
Ooh.
Huh?
God.
Huh?
I feel like I need a shower now.
Who's the one? As Guam likes to sell itself incorrectly, is also where a future American war with China may begin. Westernmost speck of America. What?
Wow.
Did this guy not read the article that we paid for in Time Magazine? What's going on here? Carl? Find this guy. We got to whack his pee-pee. It's 6:38 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. And about time for our next big look at news and headlines. Are we ready, Donna D? Okay, it doesn't matter. We're going anywhere. Here's the news.
31-year-old Kimberly Ignacio has been arrested for a hit and run at the overpass in Barragata. 2 victims reported the driver was speeding before crashing into their car just after 10 o'clock Sunday night. They were taken to Naval Hospital. Authorities tracked Ignacio down and noting she appeared drunk, and she told police that she hit that the other car hit her when she ran a red light. She admitted to leaving the scene because the occupants appeared to be normal. Ignacio was arrested last year in 2 separate cases on charges of leaving the scene with property damage. And after Senator Tom Fisher filed an ethics complaint against Senator Will Parkinson for failing to disclose a conflict of interest with a political organization currently under legislative investigation, Parkinson denied the claims, saying he has not been a member of the Progressive Democrats of Guam since 2020. Fisher argues Parkinson is still listed as an officer on their Facebook page. The Special Investigative Committee is still forming and has yet to decide when they will meet. And the Guam Procurement Technical Assistance Center is offering a series of free webinars this month to help Guam small businesses remain competitive in the local and federal marketplace. Webinars are held every Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in the morning via Zoom. You can register for the workshops at guamptac.com/news-and-events.php. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Okay. The story here, officer, there was an accident that took place about 10:15, Route 10 Alpha and 16 by the 76 Circle K out there. Cops called over, and here's the accident. I don't know. They took off, and the cops were given a description of who it was and what they were driving. Officer traveled in the last known direction of the blue truck and was able to trace a track on the road which appeared new. With the track on the road and the information received from the witness, the officer then followed and traced the track. As the officer followed the trail down to the grassy, narrow road mentioned by the witness, the officer observed a green Jeep Wrangler and a dark blue Tacoma, which matched the description reported by the witnesses in the accident. The officer observed a male, Brandon, and a female individual, Kimberly Ignacio. She's the defendant, standing near the driver's side of the blue pickup truck. The officer observed damages to the front of the blue truck. Airbags inside the truck were deployed. The driver's side, front and rear tire were flat. When the officer inquired as to who the operator of the truck was, the defendant said, it's me, I'm her. The officer observed a scratch on the defendant's left arm. When the officer asked for the defendant's driver's license, she provided an expired driver's license. When the officer asked about the damages to her truck, she stated that she got into an accident by the overpass and admitted that she ran the red light and stated, "I didn't mean to." The officer noted a strong odor of intoxicating beverage emitting from her breath, and her speech was slurry. Defendant was unable to maintain balance. The defendant's eyes were bloodshot, red, and watery, and while she was still speaking with the officer, the defendant then went towards the passenger side of the truck, pulled down her pants, and peed.
Papa Squat.
That was her.
Papa Squat.
When the officer asked the defendant if she had anything to drink, she stated no. She stated that about 5 a.m., Crudup, the guy that came to rescue her, said he received a call from the defendant requesting for his assistance to have the vehicle towed from the jungle because she had gotten into the accident. In her interview with police, Ignacio stated, the PP girl stated, "I didn't crash into the truck. The truck crashed into me," and added, "I knew the light was red, but I still went." Defendant stated that she was unaware that she was not supposed to leave the scene of an accident. She stated the passengers in the truck appeared normal. That's why she left. She stated that she left the scene. She knew the tires on the driver's side of the vehicle were sparking and screeching, but continued to drive her vehicle to a secluded area in the jungle near Hertz Rent-A-Car. The officer said, "Were you trying to hide her truck?" She said, I was not hiding. I was not hiding anything. It appears she has been arrested and charged the next day for resisting arrest, driving while impaired, and peeping in front of the police, which I'm trying to figure out whether that's a misdemeanor or full-blown felony. It's 6:43 in the morning. It's an interesting world that we live in, is it not? More like that on the way in the Ray Gibson Show.
KFC's $5 breakfast deals are the best and most affordable ways to start your day. The Colonel's Chicken and Rice Bowl, $5. Chicken fried steak, $5. Sausage, biscuit, and gravy, $5. And they all come with a fresh coffee. KFC $5 breakfast deals are served starting at 6 a.m. daily at your favorite KFC restaurant. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and the commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts Select Care, Net Care, Take Care, and Stay Well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the second floor of the Baltesh Pavilion in Tamuning.
644 Ray Gibson Show. Let me see. Time to take our first look at what's happening on the roads. First, always, we check the location of Optimus Prim, buddy of mine. In fact, Stash was cruising around last night, and he could detect a low rumbling around him. That was Optimus Prim making his way back to the commercial port of Guam. From its perch over at Ugadoo, so back down there and awaiting another massive load. Could be among the last massive loads that they're going to be moving this week. As far as the rest of the traffic looks, let me just pull up the map and see where we might be able to find some slowing down here. Not a lot. Things are looking good all the way up in Jigo. Then you get southbound Marine Corps Drive into Day-to-Do. Nothing major happening through there. Route 16 all the way to 8, 10, and 16. Clear. 10 all the way from 8, 10, and 16 down to the intersection of 4 and 10. Running very clear. Nothing on Route 8 that's going to slow you down. 4 is looking sweet into town. Nothing major in the downtown Agutnia area, so I won't even slow down. Big Navy, Sumai, very, very light traffic over at the intersection down there as well. 645 on the Ray Gibson Show. Be right back.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
not. I got Colin Clark. So much lies out there. Somebody's giving that a Valentine's like. Let me see. Elizabeth Mendiola Kitatu, Alex Afflegui, and Ruben Mortera online here this morning. Okay, the group is complete. We may begin the program. We'll start off with former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez.
Bring back the sunshine. Bring back that sunshine. He's bringing back that sunshine. Uncle Carl Gutierrez brings it every time.
Oh, how about that? 647, and he brought the sunshine all the way to San Diego, California. And based on the clothes that people were wearing, it looked like it needed it. A little chilly out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually perfect weather. I just was preparing myself for, the coming of that dusk time because it was perfect. And by the way, just quickly, this was not FIFA. This was Chelo, all Chamorros.
Oh.
FIFA was the entire Pacific and Island Festival, which is in September. And this one is once a year at this particular time with all Chamorros from everywhere come down there, about 10,000 to 15,000.
Wow. How many did you know from when they used to live on Guam?
Well, actually, I went down to two other generations that introduced themselves as my, I barbecued the pig for you at your 94 election and all this kind of stuff. So they have to reintroduce themselves and tell me who their parents are. Two generations down. Can you believe that?
It's crazy. Like I said, you go there, and my experience, as you said, was with the PIFA. But it's amazing. You can see people, and you can look at their faces, and you can kind of see a map of the family. But it's like I know, probably related. Who's your father? Who's your grandfather? Maybe we know each other like that. I'm looking at some of the pictures that you sent over. One with you and Congressman Jimmy Moylan, who was out there at the time, and looks like some kind of Vietnam veteran, older fella that I can't place.
Yeah, that gentleman is he's from the Put clan. He's my relative from Jonia, Mendiola. But it's been gone a long time. But we ended up talking about our relationship, and we're third cousins. And so he had been off island for a long time. But all the Put clan, Pete Mendiola, and Bunker and all those people up there, that's all from that family.
Yeah, and pictures of I've got Jeff McElraig in the picture here, and cannot remember the name of the lady in the center of the picture. I've interviewed her before. She's been to Guam a couple of times, back and forth between here and there. And I want to say that didn't the family used to do something over by Sleepy Lagoon, that area?
Yes, that's Janice Waller.
There you
Janice
go.
From the Bitter clan. That's the Agana Heights, like Lujan. Uncle Joaquin Lujan family, and the mother was married to a Waller that did the Papa Sabgi Bar in Alupang.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember.
I love the name. All right, and then there's a picture of you. Did Tello move out there?
Well, Tello was really all over the place. They really loved her because she did some videoing, and she did a good job in reintroducing herself to and the Guam politics that was going on. So she was really answering a lot of questions from the legislative side.
Nice. 6:49 in the morning, and it, like I said, it's always nice for you to go out there and mingle with that crowd, and I'm sure everybody was excited to see you, but also help to bridge the generations, if you will, and bridge the distance between Guam and Southern California and Chamorros up and down the coast here. I think that's an important relationship that we have to maintain, and by way of trying to get them back here every once in a while for something besides weddings and funerals.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, the governor's idea of having a homecoming for this Liberation 7/9 Liberation Day, she asked so that we at GVB and Chamorro House, and you saw McElraig there and Waller and Phil Gogui. All these people are part of not only the Chamorro House, but also with the sons and daughters of Guam and San Diego. We're out there interviewing. They were the only bidders to represent GVB. In the North American market to do a homecoming program where we can bring in a lot of not only Chamorro families, but believe it or not, there's in their cache of information, they have about 40,000 Filipinos with Guam connection, and so we're trying to do that with military families that are stationed here. To see what we can do about getting airlines that we can make it affordable for them to come either straight to Guam via Honolulu, or to the Philippines with PAL, or via Japan, ANA, connecting with United.
Yeah.
We're trying to do everything we can. So hopefully they can become our representatives in North America and start to bring our people back from that market. We have a pretty good number coming from that part of the world in our tourism numbers.
Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez just back from the trip. Any thoughts about, using folks with a Guam connection, Marianas connection, for any kind of political leverage? I mean, you start talking about a significant number of Chamorros that live in the United States mainland. Are there ways that we might be able to convince them to, vote in a block for representatives in Washington, D.C. that might be sympathetic to our various causes?
Well, absolutely. That's the Chamorro House deals strictly with the Chamorro population, which includes the Northern Marianas. That's where the Chamorros are originally from. And yes, as a matter of fact, when I was speaker, I organized Chamorros in Alameda for our congressman that was from that district. And so we tried to pull together not only Chamorros but even islanders to prop up our numbers. But yes, absolutely, that right now with what Chamorro House has put together in their cache of information, we can be really a force to reckon with when we have certain people from that district who eventually, like John Garamendi, who is from the Davis section in Davis, California, and he's very close to Guam. I dealt with him for the Commonwealth, so he knows Guam. He's pretty high up in the organization in Congress. So those are the kind of people that we can throw 150 votes to, for example, which makes a difference to that individual.
It's always been interesting to me, and I know that the last time we did Big Liberation, there were a bunch of Chamorro veterans that came out here looking to build up some support for the work that they were trying to do to organize and corral as many Native veterans to be able to help influence policy for veterans in this part of the world in Washington, D.C. And to the degree that they're successful, well, you see a lot of veteran programs that are rolling out these days. How's the hospitality industry looking? Have you had a chance to get briefed by Jerry? Now, is he back, by the way?
Jerry's coming. They came in this morning.
Oh, okay. All right. So the team is back together. So, and any new interesting things that are happening outside of where we're going to see some increases in the number of seats and airlift coming out of our source markets?
Well, funny, but yesterday I had about an hour conversation with one of the hotel general managers, and they're pretty happy with their numbers. They're pretty happy with seeing the military at their 20% level, and he says, well, maybe that's good enough for a hotel. we want to mix it up, right? We don't want only Koreans in the lobby. We want to get Japan in there as well. So
right.
They can look international. If we have 20% military, they're sitting there, and the Koreans look at them. So they're feeling good that there's an international flavor to that hotel, right? So, yeah, they said that the military is the mainstay for them, too.
But it must be the Crown. The last time I was at the Crown, I was astonished at the number of military that were staying there. But it seems to me that all of the hotels are getting better than their share of military patrons as they come in and out. Numbers out of Japan look like they're going to be increasing?
Yes. As a matter of fact, in the next week or so, when they start to wrap up all the new flights and Japan Airlines starts to come in, we are really, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you that hotel was Lotte Hotel. And their concern was that they want to start marketing their hotels in Japan. So that's what they were looking to us for.
Interesting. There's something weird going on with the phone connection. So I'm going to go ahead and let you run after you say a couple of nice things about the Cocoa Road Race. There's a press conference going to be taking place in the next couple of days. I'm assuming I'm going to see you and the rest of the GVB team down there?
Yes, that's going to happen over at the Three Squares, and it's going to be on the 15th and the 16th. And I hope that we can relaunch the signature event for GVB created by law, to go together with the Micronesian Fair.
Well, I've been practicing the route because of all of the 5K, 10K routes on Guam. You guys have managed to pick the hardest, so I've been trying to train on that so I don't embarrass myself when I actually run the event. And I invite anybody else to start running that route as well as part of your training routine. It starts on an uphill and then ends on a long uphill on the way back from the mobile turnaround. So you're going to want to, by all means, get some practice in on this so you know where you're going to be huffing and puffing.
We don't care where you place. Just be there because you're going to be a draw for us. And thank you very much for participating.
I better buy me some new shorts then. $6.56 and change. Gov, it's always a delight hearing from you. I'm glad that you're home. I'll see you on the press conference. 888-825-5888. I'm a draw.
We don't care where you place, Ray. Just show up, man.
Yeah. So I'm going to be the one that. I've got to tell you though, they've started. And I don't know when they're going to finish, but they've started in the big deal on the big races was when you run in. The finish line is going to be into the Governor Joseph Flores Memorial Park, the parking lot on the northern side, and they've started to paint the background for the logo out there. So if you're thinking about how come they've got that all taped off, that's why they're putting a new coat of paint down there, and they're going to put the Coco logo up, and that's what everybody's going to step over as they cross the finish line. 6:57. Is there more yet to talk about here on the radio? We'll take a look at what's happening in the market in the next hour. I will tell you, though, some bad news about West Texas crude. It is $80 plus now. $80 plus for West Texas crude. Believe it or not, West Texas is higher now than the most recent published rate for Tappas. Tappas crude was trading at $79.92. Now, it's frozen. They've freezed the reports for the first couple of days of the week because I don't know, but they do. And the last numbers that we have for Tappas was $79.92. If you take a look at what's happening with oil, right now, as I speak, the number is $80.47, up by almost $5 from where it was just yesterday. What's going on with that? After signaling to stay the course posture, OPEC Plus is slashing oil output by roughly 1.2 million barrels a day starting in May. They have not yet started to slash output. They're signaling that they're going to, and already the price of oil is going up in reaction. A stunning announcement said crude prices surging when markets opened last night. Cuts are planned by Saudi Arabia, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, the Kuwaitis, Kazakhstan, Algeria, and Oman. So be on the lookout for that. How is that going to affect us here on Guam? Well, West Texas is the price that the oil that we buy for the Power Authority is kind of indexed to. And as Simon Sanchez has told you many, many times, so you take that number and then you add even more because there's handling and shipping and all of the other charges that go into it before it gets into the machines that make electricity for the Guam Power Authority. So brace. This now makes it that much more important for the legislature to get together and follow through with Therese Terlai and Joe S.N. Augustine's legislation that would extend the $500 credit to GPA taxpayers. That's something that we got to work on right away. And legislators, you also have to get a head start on what's happening with the taxes and fees on gasoline. We're at $5 a gallon retail right now, but that does not factor in the break that we get because of that change in the law. That needs to get extended as well. And I don't want to hear from anybody in the legislature or anybody in the government of Guam saying we can't afford it. If you can afford a 22% raise for everybody, you can afford to extend these breaks to taxpayers and ratepayers. At 7 o'clock in the morning, the radio stations, KUSG, got you 93.3 is the point. Where peak is best. Have you heard? Stand by now. It's Dr. Fox.
Home again. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Donald Trump is back in Trump Tower, arriving a short time ago to spend the night in New York City ahead of tomorrow's arrest and arraignment. A few dozen supporters near Trump Tower, one holding up Finish the Wall banner.
They believe that he's being politically prosecuted. Many of them support his run for the presidency in 2024. They do not believe that he has committed any crime.
Fox's Nate Foy. City officials are looking ahead to protests tomorrow.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he's not concerned about crowds around the criminal courthouse getting out of hand. As he put it,
if you are prepared, you don't have to get prepared.
The NYPD says the bulk of its force will be in uniform Tuesday. Commissioner Keyshawn Sewell says they're watching for people with guns in the city where it's illegal to have them.
Fox's Gernal Scott. That includes during First Amendment activities. President Biden connecting dots from his economic plan to manufacturing growth.
Federal investment attracts private investment. It creates jobs and industries
And it demonstrates we're all in this together.
Visiting a plant near Minneapolis to highlight green energy production on his Invest in America tour, which the Republican National Committee calls a bankrupting America tour. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee is proposing school safety reforms, including a grant fund for security improvements after last week's mass shooting at a Christian school in Nashville.
With this funding, we're taking the burden off of teachers and schools and districts. There is no excuse to not have a guard at every school.
The shooter at Covenant School was shot and killed by responding officers after killing 3 young children and 3 adults. Investigators now say Audrey Hale fired 152 rounds. Nashville police and the FBI still analyzing her writings, but say the journals show months of planning to commit mass murder. America is listening to Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tinactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
The Biden administration is not confirming reports that a Chinese spy balloon was able to send data about military sites back to China before it was shot down. Instead, Deputy Defense spokesperson Sabrina Singh reiterates what was done at the time to limit what information could be gathered.
When the balloon was coming over and up through the United States, dipped into Canada, and then dipped back down, we were already taking precautionary measures at this time to mitigate any type of intelligence collection that the balloon would be able to pick up.
U.S. officials also say the recovered balloon is still being analyzed. NASA names 3 men and 1 woman to travel to the moon.
3 Americans and 1 Canadian will crew Artemis 2 next year to orbit the moon.
This is humanity's crew. May I introduce them to you all?
NASA Chief Bill Nelson at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, where he unveiled that veteran U.S. astronaut Reed Wiseman will command the mission with U.S. pilot Victor Glover, U.S. mission specialist Christina Cook, and Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen.
It is not lost on any of us that the United States could choose to go back to the moon by themselves. But America has made a very deliberate choice over decades to curate a global team.
Artemis 2 will fly around the moon next year. Eben Brown, Fox News.
That 10-day mission is a prelude to a lunar landing expected a year later. Glover is the first black astronaut named to a lunar mission. March Madness ends tonight. UConn and San Diego State playing for the men's college basketball championship after the first Final Four with no number 1 seed since 2011. On Wall Street, it was a rally for the Dow up 327. The S&P also gaining, but the NASDAQ dropped 32 points. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
KFC's $5 breakfast deals are the best and most affordable ways to start your day. The Colonel's Chicken and Rice Bowl, $5. Chicken fried steak, $5. Sausage, biscuit, and gravy, $5. And they all come with a fresh coffee. KFC $5 breakfast deals are served starting at 6 a.m. daily at your favorite KFC restaurant. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and a commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts select care, net care, take care, and stay well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the 2nd floor of the Baltesh Pavilion in Temui.
morning.
Subway's new Subway Series menu is a collection of greatest hits. But my number 7, the Mexicali, is on a whole nother level with the way avocado meets chicken and pepper jack cheese.
Outlaw! You tell them, Raiden. That's the number 2, the Outlaw Sandwich. They don't know flavor.
It's the greatest cheesesteak hit with juicy steak, pepper jack, and Baja Chipotle sauce. There's a better mean cheese pairing than that. Shanzi, justify my point, please.
Meatball, pepperoni, and mozzarella. That's number 6, the Boss Sandwich, because we're the bosses of flavor. We're done here.
At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Half a day at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. GWA says the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission never owned the island's Northern District wastewater treatment plant, which means the land was never legally transferred by the commission to its ancestral owners. GWA has engaged in a years-long $220 million legal battle to prove it still owns the site. GWA has operated a wastewater plant there since 1980 when the land was still owned by the military. Cortec acquired the land in 2015 for $178.1 million and has argued that GovGuam and GWA illegally condemned the company's land without paying for it and are encroaching on Cortec property. GWA's most recent court filing in March states that GovGuam indisputably gave the wastewater property to GWA as part of a 1997 grant deed, and the property has remained with GWA ever since. But Cortec argues that the 1997 grant deed did not give GWA the Dedito ancestral land, only an opportunity to stake its claim to the land. Meanwhile, a public hearing was held yesterday on Senator Tom Fisher's Bill 49, which intends to impose harsh penalties against adults who negligently or intentionally distribute narcotics to minors. Fisher says the bill is meant to be a hammer in the war on fentanyl. But Bill 49 isn't specific to fentanyl. Instead, it would make it illegal for any person to negligently, recklessly, knowingly, or intentionally deliver or dispense a Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 controlled substance to anyone under 18 years of age, except as authorized by law. But AG's office acting Chief Prosecutor Heather Zona says the bill could have unintended consequences and would make prosecution difficult. Notably, it put harsher penalties on handing out all types of opioids, not just fentanyl. Zona gave the example of a grandfather taking morphine or another opioid to treat his pain from stage 4 cancer. Under the bill, it would be illegal for him to ask a minor to get his medication bottle. Fisher says he looks forward to working with the AG's office to revise the measure. More news after this.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Cabris Unit 2 was back online Sunday afternoon, and as of yesterday morning, GPA reported the unit was generating 32 megawatts. GPA had all baseload units online following several weeks of potential load shedding as a result of emergency repairs and scheduled maintenance of the current units. But the potential for load shedding will continue as GPA faces power generation challenges until the new plant comes online. Considering the age of the current baseload generators, GPA says it can't promise outages won't happen in the future. The PD units will become reserve or standby units when the new Ukudu power plant is online, and the Cabris units will be retired 6 months after the new Ukudu power plant is commissioned in 2024. And island residents interested in obtaining their high school equivalency diploma through the GED tests at GCC will be expected to pay a little bit more this year, as the GED testing service will administer a fee increase. The last time GCC saw an increase in GED fees was 8 years ago. Currently, students must pay $125 for testing in 4 content areas, including reasoning through language arts, mathematical reasoning, science, and social studies. Each subtest costs $31.25 with a retest fee of $11.25 per subtest or content area for the first 2 retests. GCC is encouraging the community to attend public hearings this Thursday and Friday from 3 to 4 to discuss the new fee amounts. Testimony may be submitted on the dates of the hearings, which will be held in room 3108 of GCC's Anthony A. Leon Guerrero Allied Health Building. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Don't complain about the prices going up. You could stay in school for free. Just stay in high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, and get good grades and pass high school, and then you don't have to worry about taking the GED. It's 7:11 in the morning, partly sunny skies today with highs near 88 degrees. Light and variable winds becoming southerly 5 to 7 miles an hour this morning. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with overnight lows of about 76 degrees. With the heat index, it'll feel like 92 degrees today. Mostly sunny in the forecast for Wednesday, highs near 87. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, and mostly sunny again when it gets to be Thursday. Let me see, 20% chance of rain. Sunset tonight will be at 6:33. We had sunrise early at 6:15. I don't know. I got to check and see if I've got some gorgeous pictures from Jeff over at Pirates Cove. And for the first time in 4.5 years, the answer is no. Sup? You okay, old man?
Slacker.
What?
I'm just kidding, Jeff.
What the heck? Where were we supposed to get our Taco Tuesday pictures from? If not, all right. So I need somebody on the eastern side of the island, Ron or Kim over at Security Title. Maybe a shot from your backyard, Colin. I need to find out what sunrise looked like, if at all possible. At 7:12, there's news and weather together on the point.
Just in time for Lent. It's our delicious BK Big Fish Sandwich. 100% white Alaskan pollock, breaded with crispy panko, topped with sweet tartar sauce, tangy pickles on top of a warm toasted brioche bun. Also available, our Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Enjoy your Lenten season with French fries or our new mozzarella sticks with a refreshing brewed, sweet, or unsweetened tea. We are ready to serve you this Lenten season. Now available at BK Hagåtña, Tubon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day. You rule.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Can do. 7:13, Ray Gibson Show, and let me see, portions of the program are brought to you by American President Lines, APL, a global presence with a local home, and the team at GRMC, Guam Regional Medical City. They're your healthcare partners.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
13, and interesting story. Electric cars threaten Chicago's AM radio stations. This is kind of a serious thing here, because these electric cars are coming, just crammed with electronics and all kinds of other stuff, and AC, DC converters, and that kind of thing, or DC to AC, whatever, and they all make too much noise for AM radios. And so the manufacturers have just said, well, nobody listens to AM radio anymore, let's take them out. To which many broadcasters still broadcasting on AM radio are saying, whoa, hold on a second. It's not everything has gone to streaming, and not everything is on FM, and even FM, you got line of sight and that kind of thing. And so there are guys in the AM radio business that are saying, well, we've got to do something about this. U.S. aims to have electric cars make up half of all automobiles in the next 7 years. Elected officials argue AM is essential for public emergencies, while some automakers counter that the government emergency management system must adapt to new technology. Radio is still relevant. A recent Pew Research study says the medium still reaches 83% of Americans. And in fact, just recently, it was discovered through a significant amount of research that radio reaches more people now than television. It has surpassed television as a medium. Despite its continued reach, listenership has declined in recent years due to new channels like streaming and podcasting. Most radio is heard in the car, which makes cutting it in EVs a concern for radio executives. So that's one of the interesting stories that are floating around about electric cars and AM radio. And having started my necessarily. I mean, my first radio station was K Stereo back in the late 70s. Worked for Ed for a little bit, and then got a job working for a guy named Les Engelhardt at KUAM, and was there on the AM station for about 5 years. So yeah, I've got roots in AM radio and still a fondness for AM and shortwave, which is another place where I developed a love for the craft. 7:15 in the morning, my old friend Chris Duenas, that's Senator Chris Duenas, online here with me this morning. Thought it was kind of interesting. Got a note from somebody that said maybe there's a different way to do the witch hunt on Julian Jensen over at the legislature. I'll share it with you a little bit later on. What's going on, Chris?
Good day, Ray, Joe, Donna D, and soon to give us a great extra point, Jerry. No, I don't want to discuss that. I recused myself from all those issues, which is the proper thing to do. But I wanted to, since there's no print version today of the Post, and you're scouring for some news.
Well, actually, the Post actually did come in, but there's nothing interesting in it.
Okay.
Sorry.
But I wanted to direct you to something really interesting, and Donna D might want to take a look at this too. But Senator Barnett the Great actually made an excellent post on Facebook today, describing very, a statesman-like the governor's actions on the 3 bills that I believe 2 of them lapsed into law, and then of course the 30 million got line item vetoed. No surprise there. But what's interesting was just the whole optics of last week. I mean, really, they need an optics makeover. I mean, going out and basically not simultaneously allowing those bills that she was going to take action on to pass, along with the pay raises, and putting the pay raises first and criticizing the rest of the bills, just shows from the get-go, as some of our friends like to say, that she was hell-bent on those pay raises and hated those emergency sessions.
Oh, she was. You knew that was. There's no way that she was going to get in front of the education bills, because she gets in there and signs it, proclamation this, proclamation that. That just looks good for Chris Barnett and the members of the Breakaway Coalition at the 37th Guam Legislature. And there's no way that she was going to give up any additional press on that.
Well, along with Chris being very classy, also. Great comments from acting superintendent Juan Pett yesterday in another media interview, saying they could really use the 20 million. The saddest part about the 10 million being line item vetoed is the reason why Speaker Terlahi introduced that compromise was everything the education was telling us in front of us, and it was actually a story in the Post the day earlier. I was like, God, talk about timing. What they needed, a dedicated funding source for maintenance, something where they can, stop being juggled around with their budget and say this funding source is only for maintenance. And that's what the 10 million ended up being for, and that's what the governor line item vetoed. Pretty crazy, huh?
Amazing. Just mean, I think, is the word that Chris used in his deal. I've just found it on the Facebook, but it's an hour long, so it's not like I can't just go ahead and run it for a little bit. I don't, it's thin, but it's not that thin. But I appreciate him taking to the media again and explaining what's going on with this. But I don't disagree. I think there's just something unmagnanimous about this. You talk about everybody runs on the education, and we believe the children are our future and everything, and the legislature moves through with some measures that would provide for the sorting out, if you will, of the different schools, and to deal with all the problems that exist in the different schools, of safety and security, and just keeping healthy surroundings for our kids. And you'd think that there would be a leap to sign these measures into law, thanking the legislature.
The thing is I don't know whether she's not getting good advice or not taking good advice. But the really, really classy move would have been to celebrate the fact that amendment was put in for the next fiscal year. So it's not deficit spending. It will be part of the budget like Governor, all the other proposals should be. And the classy move would have been, I'm joining the legislature, and I'm actually going to amend my budget to say, yes, that $10 million for dedicated funding source for maintenance once and for all, to say we're going to start here, like all the other schools that are leaseback schools have plenty of budget for maintenance, and that's why they look good. That's why the air conditioners work. That's why the toilets work. That's why everything works, is because They have a dedicated funding source for maintenance, but no. So she's either getting horrible advice or not taking good advice. Both are bad.
I think you're right. I think it's a question of both of them. There's the whole thing now that is imploding with the hospital lease over at Lalo. I think that's a big disappointment for her. And I was disappointed to read that the response was going to be legal as opposed to administrative. Look, sorry, this thing with Lalo is not going to work out. And the gun to the head deadline that the people of Guam face from the admiral, I think is completely uncalled for. I don't know that it's required. You know, we could have been brought into this a whole lot earlier and not been forced to paint it into a corner to make a hasty decision.
You know, in the days of the good Republican governors, I could just see a Mark Forbes and other chiefs of staff like Mark Cabo and others under the Camacho administration saying, let's run down to the legislature and talk to them. The AG just said they're involved. Let's see what we can do to, try to help them help us meet a deadline. But I guess, in this case, let's lawyer up.
Well, what are you hearing? I mean, is there anything going on with that? Is there an update from the governor's office? Have they fired another salvo at anybody?
The only other explanation I've heard was a statement. It wasn't even a statement. It was just a blurb that said, Eagles Field and a new hospital, our new complex, uncertain. And so I guess, the mantra is, those pesky people are going to force us to lose something. We can't lose something we never had, Ray. So many people have called me to try to get me to get on board with this, saying, we're never going to get that land back. And I said, this is not getting the land back. This is leasing the land.
Big difference.
There's a big difference.
Big difference.
That.
Well, listen, I'm gonna let you. I got Jerry Roberts in the studio, and I got to take a look at what's happening in the markets. I'll tell you so that and remind you, you guys over at the legislature need to go back to a piece of work that was done back in the 36th Guam legislature. Dig out Bill 358, I think is what it was. That's the one that provided for the break for taxes and fees on gasoline. It's going to expire in, I want to say, another 75 days or so, and with the speed with which the legislature can move, I think maybe we need to get a head start on it and extend it again. West Texas crude is over $80 a barrel today.
Great segue. Catch you later.
All right, buddy. Talk to you pretty soon. 7:22 in the morning. We'll go, as he says, segue into the next part of the program, and that's a quick look at what's going on the markets. I think I've got the thing up on my screen. There it is. All right. It was kind of a mixed session this morning when I was last looking at it. So I want to see what finally ended up here. S&P 500 up by 15, NASDAQ down by 32. Big winner today is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, picking up 327 points. The FTSE is up by 41. Nikkei picked up 146. Hang Seng up by just 10 or so. Shanghai Index picked up 23. So not a whole lot by way of activity on the market outside the Dow. VIX is off by hardly anything, and the DAX is minus 47. So what did I say? Big winner was the Dow. All right, let's see what the Dow components were that were champion here this morning. United Health, Chevron, Walgreens, Merck & Company, and Visa Incorporated down around the bottom. Salesforce, Nike, American Express, 3M Company, and Microsoft. Now, what do we got on the commodities? Like I said, oil at $80.45 for a barrel of West Texas. TAP is still frozen at 79.92. But I'll make this a point here. West Texas is over the published price for Tapis crude this morning, and by a little bit here. Gold at 2001. Told you it was going up. 2001. It picked up $15 in value overnight. If you're doing some traveling, the Japanese yen, 132 to the dollar, 54.5 pesos in exchange for your greenback. And if you're going to South Korea, it's 1,310 won for each one of the dollars that you are going to spend. But near as I can tell, it'll be spent on all kinds of great tasting foods that you can get in little restaurants and mom and pops that they've got there, just like we have. God, you know what I had the other day? I had a craving for kimchi.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I went. There's a mom and pop not too far away from my house, and I went in there and I got with those. They come in these little cups, right?
Single
serving kimchi. It's exactly the right size. It's $1.50 or something like that. Quench my thirst for some kimchi. Quench my thirst for some Bitcoin. Real Joe.
Here we go. 27,563
drifted down
by $624.
All right, and the big headline on MSNBC this morning: some on Wall Street turn to DeSantis as they seek a Trump alternative. Donald Trump in New York getting ready to go and get himself arrested tomorrow.
Yep.
And the question is is a mugshot really necessary? Is there anybody that doesn't know what Donald Trump looks like? Is there a need for him to get a mugshot? What do you think?
I think he wants the mugshot.
I want fingerprints.
Yeah.
Mugshot, print him.
Uh-huh.
Okay, jumpsuit,
The
orange jumpsuit.
whole 9 yards.
Paraded on the street in the jumpsuit and chains and the whole thing. Give it to him.
I keep recalling a scene from Star Wars, and I might actually have the meme on me and put it up on the screen. If not, I'll get it on. But after Jerry Roberts is done with his extra point, but it's the one where you got he's dressed up like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something like that. As if you no, I don't have it on me, but I'll put it up on the screen. I don't want to mess it up by talking about it. I do have a picture that I wanted to put up on the screen just to share with you. It's been decades of my life that I've wanted one of these. Found it on Amazon.com, and it's in the mail. It's one of the original smart watches back in the olden days. It's a Casio with a calculator on it.
Oh, wow.
What did that set you back?
$30 or something
really?
like that. Yeah, they're not expensive.
Oh, yeah.
No.
These aren't not yet collector's items?
Not yet collector's item. They're apparently still being made. Casio men's, it's the, what is it, SWW with a calculator on it. And I'd always wanted one. Yeah. And what the heck, they're out there and they're available. I was actually looking for a new Garmin watch. But the one that I was looking at, it's got satellite, and it'll store a playlist so you don't have to run with your phone or anything like that, and all the connections, all the feeds that you want, biofeedback and all of that. That one wanted to set me back about $300, and I thought I just need to know what time it is and maybe be able to do some number crunching on the go.
That's what this is for.
So I've got one of those coming in 7:27 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Jerry Roberts is in. It must be time for the Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Jerry.
Thank you. Many companies have promotions that lead to one staff member being named Employee of the Year.
Woo!
With slight variations. Most of them are pretty much the same. A plaque or certificate, a story in the company newsletter, maybe a post in social media, prizes, gifts. And if the organization is large enough, the winner might get a parking spot close to the front door. Well, I saw one such Employee of the Year announcement a few days ago. It was a little bit different. I'll have this for you next on the Extra Point.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Hoffaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
I've been a part of two companies that staged Employee of the Year programs. How it was set up was that each supervisor and manager would recommend somebody from their team every month to compete for the Employee of the Month award. That would yield 12 winners, and the Employee of the Year would be chosen from that group. In general, the goal is hopefully to choose a winner who reflects the best qualities of the organization, somebody who is a good worker and who is well respected by customers and coworkers alike. At the ceremony, the big boss stands up and makes a little speech in recognition of the winner. Then the winner's manager does the same. And finally, the winner gets to thank everyone, says how much the award means, and then it's time to eat. Nice. Well, I told you I saw a post that described such an Employee of the Year program. Well, in this case, the big boss didn't make the speech to recognize the winner. There was a good reason for that. You see, in this case, the big boss was the winner. The company is Hafaloha, with a store in the GPO Cost You Less area, that blue and gray building over there with IHOP and Pieology, and they're in there too. They feature unique and tasty clothing as well as tasty desserts. The employees of Hafaloha selected Tara Ka'ai, the owner and general manager, to be their Employee of the Year. They said they had to do some convincing for Tara to agree to this, as she's not someone who seeks the spotlight for herself. They convinced, and she finally said okay. I mentioned that an Employee of the Year should reflect well on the group. Here's what Tara's team said about her, quoting, "We love Tara for her incredible positivity. Her good vibe is contagious and rubs off on everyone around her." They continued, "Tara is a loving person. She loves us like we're her kids. It's in her nature to be loving and kind," unquote. Well, then, their words described other factors that are worth noting, and I again quote, "When challenges arise, Tara doesn't shy away. Instead, through grit and determination, she overcomes. She is a great role model for all of us," again, unquote. I had the pleasure of meeting Tara late last year when she and husband Len chose to bring a table full of their team members to Live to Lead in November. During the event, I was able to visit with them a couple of times and came away with a feeling that there was a different type of spirit at that table. A manager who is selected as Employee of the Year is a unique choice. That is, the general manager or the owner. I can't imagine any award that could ever match it, because it comes from the people who know you best, and it's a gift from the heart. It's wonderful to be recognized in the way that Hafaloha chose for Tara Ka'ai. Love on your workers. Get to know them. Show that you care about them individually as well as collectively. Make work interesting and fun. Put them first above all others, and that includes your customers and vendors. Will it win you an Employee of the Year award? I don't know. What I do know is that people will want to come to work, and they will treat your customers the way you hope they will. Employees, customers, and vendors will know that your place is a different kind of place, a special kind of place. Thanks to Hafaloha and the employees there for inspiring this version of the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
All right, coming up a little bit later on, I hope you get a chance to hear stories coming out of Hawaii and an incredible issue that at least one company, at least one outfit is having out there with a sexual harassment charge. It's kind of a longish story, I'll tell you. Basically, it's a primer on what not to do. Now, earlier, we were talking about the Donald in New York City, where preparations are being made for him, I guess, to turn himself in and do whatever it is that they're going to do by way of the, quote, arrest of the century. And you're right. There's two ways of thinking about this. Is, what a travesty of justice and ruination upon the republic. And then there's the other part of this where you've got something like this situation that is only going to make him stronger. Is only going to make him a bigger, more with a greater potential. 100 million votes in 2024. This is the meme that I was looking for, and he's Donald Trump dressed up in Star Wars clothes that says, "If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine." What do you think, Jer? You think that's possible, or is this going to be something that he's not going to be able to run away from, or miscalculating the political potential value for it?
I think it's going to be just an incredibly loud and horrifying presidential campaign from every standpoint.
Well, I mean, and
I don't know.
We're waiting for the announcement. We're waiting for the announcement from Biden. Biden's supposed to be making an announcement sometime soon of whether he's going to be running or not.
If it was up to me, frankly, I'd ask both these guys. I'd lead them away somewhere to stand down, get out of the way, and let's try to do this thing over again.
Well, we'll watch and see how the DNC is going to play it, how the RNC is going to play it.
It's just going to be, like I say, loud, and people are going to be yelling and screaming for the next umpteen months.
Dumpster fires.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, it'll be incredible for talk radio, but I think horrible for the country.
I don't know. I already got Lulian Guerrero, 37th Guam Legislature, and Doug Moylan.
What you gonna do?
Up to here
what
already.
What you gonna do, Ray?
I don't know. 7:35 in the morning.
Add an hour.
There's Jerry Robertson and the extra. Oh God, no! It's time to run into news and headlines now with Donna D. being brought to you by my friends, my pals over at Burger King, and they've still got some time left. Donna was asking yesterday. The question is the big fish sandwich just for Lent, or is it a permanent part of the menu over at Burger King? And the answer came a little bit later on in the morning. And the answer is, yeah, they're going to keep that around. That is a permanent part of the menu, and it is so good for you. BK Big Fish Sandwich waiting for you, Lenten-wise, and the Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper and 0% beef. You rule at Burger King. Also being brought to you by the team over at Hoffaday Realty. I was looking at a piece of property a few months ago and wondering, hey, I wonder if there's somebody might be able to do something with it. And as it turns out, yeah, they hooked up with somebody over at Hoffaday Realty and did some bulldozing, and now pretty soon there's going to be a house going up on that property. Those kind of miracles can happen for you. HoffadayRealty@gmail.com. Now with news and information, here's Donna D. Donna?
Friday's passage of Bill 24, the 22% pay raise bill, has earned criticism from the Guam Chamber of Commerce, which said concerns were left unheard. The chamber asked the legislature to prioritize public safety, public health, and public schools. Chamber officials have also expressed opposition to a potential hike in the minimum wage on Guam, saying an increase would be devastating to local businesses and that the minimum wage should be dictated by market forces. And GDOE's two-day safety training event began yesterday and continues today at Tizen High School. The training involves 2 days of staff development and then 3 days dedicated to schools cleaning and preparing their facilities. Participants were also scheduled to hear about vape products and how critical school employees are in the effort to prevent access to minors. And families with ties to Andy South are being sought for consultation over remains that were disturbed in the area. Ancestral remains found from the Mugfug area to the Jigo Fire Station are scheduled for reburial. Descendant representatives who would like to participate in the consultation should email aimadahi@gmail.com. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
What's the URL?
I don't know.
Probably shouldn't put links in the radio. It's 7:37 in the morning. A couple of other interesting stories I'll get around to talking about here, including the price for a dozen eggs in Hawaii. I don't want to make a big deal about it because, honestly, I don't know what a price for a dozen eggs is on Guam. It's like if you buy gas, it's like $3.49 over at 76.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Right? No, okay. So maybe I will make a big deal about
gas station eggs.
Gas station eggs, right?
All right, man.
So do I have to spend another $20 to get another $3.49?
And you got a car wash.
Find Cousin Troy. Cousin Troy knows how it works. So in the retail Instacart reported in January, some Hawaii residents were paying $9.73 for a dozen eggs.
Chata.
53% higher than the next highest egg prices, which were in Florida. National average for a dozen large grade A eggs up 150% in January compared to the same price last year. The biggest contributing factor in that spike, the rise in avian flu in the continental U.S. The most recent numbers from the CDC show more than 58 million. Commercial poultry birds had been infected since last January. Some of the hardest hit states include some of the biggest mainland egg producers: Pennsylvania, California, Tennessee, Iowa, Illinois, Colorado, and Washington. The avian flu not detected in Hawaii, and that I'm aware of, it's not detected here on Guam. Quote, "We are grateful that the USDA has strict safeguards in place to keep farms like ours safe," said Sharon Cheap, manager of Peterson's Upland Farm in Wahiwa. A small farm off Dole Road processes about 3,000 eggs on an average day. Despite the rising cost of eggs in the mainland and the challenges with labor and the national supply chain, Peterson says it's important that her farm keeps their prices as low as possible for as long as possible. If you were in Wahiwa, you could walk down the street to Peterson's Upland Farm, and for a dozen eggs, $5.50.
Yeah, go home, Holly.
Take your eggs and get out of here. 7:39, I'll be right back.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Take
Care recently moved to its new location at the Century Plaza in Tamuning. Take Care customer service, administration, claims, membership accounting services, FHP Home Health and Hospice, and FHP Vision Center are all now located at the top floor of the Century Plaza in Tamuning. If you need any assistance, please call customer service at 671-647-3526. Email customer service at takecareasia.com or visit takecareasia.com. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Man, I just don't know. I don't know, Real Joe. If I'm gonna get because I was always thinking maybe I want to get me one of those blue check marks on the Twitters.
Yeah, you got to pay, bro.
It's okay.
Got to pay to play.
It's okay. It's worth. What, $11 a month?
Gotta pay the cost to be the boss.
It's worth $11 a month. Don't you think that my information, my retweets and tweets and comments aren't worth at least $11 a month?
Yes, warranted.
Golly. All right, quick bill, Beyond the Box time. 20 minutes away from 8 o'clock in the morning at Beyond the Box right now. The resupply of incredible iMacs are in, 24-inch iMacs, Retina displays. They got all the incredible chips, the M1 chip in there, lots and lots of cores, and superior storage capabilities, and the pricing starting at $13.99. And so go, and they come in great colors, too. I've got them up on the screen for those of you that are watching on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. But I know some of you are saying, I don't need any new technology. To which I say, shut up! You only live once. Come on, go out there and get the. In fact, don't even bother with the $13.99 one. The top end 24-inch iMac, Retina 5, 4.5K display, Apple M1 chip, 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU, 8 gigabytes unified memories, and 512 gigabyte storage. You can get more if you want to. $18.99 for that one. Come on, you deserve it. I'm telling you, go get one today at Beyond the Box at the Micronesia Mall. On the way, we'll take a look at what's happening in traffic and see if there's anything that might be slowing you down before they open the store. Let's see. It looks good. You know why? Because it's Holy Week. So there's nothing happening on any of the roadways. Yeah. It's just intersection. Just enjoy the drive. Hey, look, there's no buses. Hey, look, there's no
a lot of sad parents
freaked out mom and dads. Look, there's no car line over in front of Harvest. This is great. I can take my time. All right, motivate, if you will. A little bit of southbound traffic on Route 3 making its way to Marine Corps Drive. Slow through there. Maybe there's panhandling going on, or a concern that has been expressed by at least one point listener that the encampment, the Camp Leon Guerrero at Route 16 and Marine Corps Drive might be repopulating itself with yet more homeless. We've got Eric the Eagle is on it, and we'll see what happens now after they get together with the governor's office and the mayors, et cetera, et cetera. Don't see a whole lot of traffic. Route 8, Route 4 into town looking pretty good. Route Marine Corps Drive southbound. It looks like it might be busying up over at the intersection of 1 and 2, so expect some delays through there. It's 7:42. This is The Point.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tenactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.gu.
Dun, 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 744. Hawaii Free Press is out. I love Tuesdays. You know, it's and I guess it's all right that the newspaper came in late this morning. Okay, everybody at the Guam Daily Post. It's not all right that the newspaper came in late this morning.
I'm just forgiving them?
Yeah, no, I'm not. No forgiveness. No amnesty. No amnesty. When you asked me to hook up as a subscriber, I told you, Krista and Mark and Phil and Nelson, that I come to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like to have the newspaper here when I get here, if for no other reason than I can peruse at my leisure what the big stories are. And the top story today is the anti-drug bill to shield kids may have unintended consequences. Do I love that story? Not as much as I love the idea that the bills, the education bills, so important to taking care of our kids and the schools where they attend, and facilities for the teachers to adequately and safely teach our children. So glad that those were signed into law. Well, wait. They weren't signed into law. They lapsed into law. What the?
Hashtag rat droppings.
What the? Hashtag what the? Hey, I believe the children are our future. Give me a Biba for the children.
Biba, I guess Holy Week, right? Not too loud.
I thought, when I grew up, that was just on Good Friday. That was and I always spent Good Friday with my grandfather and grandmother at the old Mariana Sales in Agania, and I think maybe they just said that because he'd get tired of hearing me pretty quick.
Yeah, I think my grandparents are just trying to shut us up for the week.
Exactly.
It's pretty hard to shut me up.
This is true. Now, thinking about the whole Holy Week and the traditions, did you guys in your family have any traditions on like Good Friday? Yeah. We got to be quiet up until like 3:30 in the afternoon. That was when the cock crowed 3 times or something like that, and that was supposed to be kind of the all clear for the kids to go and be able to listen to the radio and watch TV. Was it the same with you?
I never looked forward to the Easter season, Ray, because you turn on the TV and it'd be like MTV Spring Break, and here on Guam, it's like, don't make a sound, get a spanking on Saturday. I always got a spanking on Saturday. And my grandma would do this thing where she would recount all of her sins for the year and give a special focus on the sins we did during Holy Week. And, man, we would just get it. So I never, other kids had Easter egg hunts. I was too busy putting aloe vera on my bruises on Easter Sunday.
How did you still manage to turn out the way you did?
I don't know. I think there might be something in discipline, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either. Hey, listen, but I do want to offer congratulations. I did get the paperwork from the office yesterday, crowing about how the bills are now a matter of law, the education bills. But yet again, another line item veto. What's reduction of funds? Explain that to me.
Well, if you go in and you read the governor's messages to the legislature relative to the pay raise bill and the 3 education bills, I think somebody pissed her off last week. I don't know who. I plead the fifth, but, man, just the tone in these letters, and I got to go back to what I had said a couple weeks ago, is in her State of the Island address, she talked about the meanness of politics. But, I mean, they're the ones being mean, and this line item veto of $10 million for our school system. So what Speaker Theresa Lai did was she had proffered that amendment, and we kind of broke up the $30 million. We're given 20 this year, then 10 the next year, but the governor line item vetoed that, and she said that we shouldn't allow DOE to spend tomorrow's money today. But that's kind of the way.
What?
GDP? Yeah, I don't.
Wait, hold on. There's a whole lot of spending tomorrow's money today, and the assumptions that are being made on our ability to maintain these pay raises that we've been handing out this year.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what the logic was there, but it is what it is. She did line item veto that. She did sign the rest of the bill into law, though, so that's a big victory. I was trying to be positive about it. At the end of the day, even if she shortchanged our kids $10 million, we're still getting $20 million for school facilities and repair. And I got to commend Senator Chris Duenas, my vice chair for education and public safety, because when he introduced this bill, and remember the intent of this bill was to recoup the cost of the raises that were paid out last year for the teachers, and they were paid out using monies, federal funds that were supposed to go towards capital improvement projects. So when you introduced this bill, it was a real thumb the nose at Adelup and basically saying, hey, you gave these raises, well, we're going to give GDOE the money right back. Mm-hmm. So there was really the potential for this to turn into one of these like highly divisive partisan issues, and it did. Unfortunately, the whole body was able to get behind not just this measure, but all 3 of the measures that we're able to pass 14-0 in this emergency education session. So she signed Senator Duenas' bill into law. She also signed Senator Sabina Perez her procurement bill, which I was a main co-sponsor of, that also was signed into law. But my bill, Bill 29, which is now, I believe, Public Law 37-4, she allowed that to lapse in law and lapse into law. I don't know.
What is there just a we are now your persona non grata? Didn't want to sign your measure. We'll let it lapse into law, so I don't have to say anything or even acknowledge it.
Well, she did say a whole bunch. She definitely said a whole bunch, and she had a problem with the way I was amending the sanitation rules and regs, and she also had a problem with the timelines, which she called impracticable. But I just have to say that even though GDOE leadership and public health testified against this measure, for me to be able to still get the support of the colleagues throughout the emergency session and have it passed, basically unanimously, because only Vice Speaker Tina Mooney Barnes was off island for that session. I think it really says a lot about not just what the bill its intent was, but how much my colleagues believed in it and its success as a measure on the floor, and then eventually a public law. So I get where the
but you told the story, and that's what you're really, really good at is telling stories. And part of the storytelling was bringing in parents and students and teachers, all the what we really refer to as the stakeholders here, for a round table just before all of these things were supposed to get voted on. So while the memories of the complaints and the hopes and desires for sanitary future and a successful education for our children are still fresh in everybody's mind, that was I thought a great stroke to be able to go from one directly into the other, and it's still, I think, fresco. I think it's still fresh in people's minds as the bills lapsed into law or sat in the governor's desk. Now, with regard to the work that needs to get done, there is already a facilities master plan that the old Board of Education under Mark Mandiola had been working on. So they've got a platform for which they can begin all of the work that needs to get done.
Yeah, and I commend them for having not just that plan, but also Acting Superintendent Judy Wampat has her. She has like a tiered facilities repair plan that she kind of cranked out when she got on the job. And so I think both of these plans and all the other work that GDOE is already doing, because, we kind of lit a fire. I think that this conversation that started when I came into office really lit a fire under everyone's noggin. And I was just so happy to see everyone moving towards this goal, even when the bill was just in its introduction stages. And I could have pulled back and said, let GDOE handle it. But again, like I said in the public hearing, GDOE has a track record that I'm not too comfortable with. So I think that those two pieces, those two plans are going to be a great roadmap to the ultimate goal, which is, complying with Public Law 36-4's mandates. And Ray, thank you for noticing that was part of my strategy was, to let the naysayers have their day. And, when you're trying to do radical things and change things, the establishment is going to fight back. And I think that's what happened with Acting Soup, Judy Wampat, not just in the public hearing, but, her conversation when we were trying to throw $30 million at GDOE was just something I wasn't too happy with. And, public health, granted, they have their challenges, but anybody who watched the public hearing would know that public health kind of contradicted the statements of the governor in her transmittal letter, because they said, hey, if this thing becomes law at the end of the day, we're going to comply. We're going to do our best to go out there and meet all the law's mandates. But, bringing in the PTOs the weekend before the emergency session, I really felt like you're right. My intent there was to we've heard from the high government officials. Now let's hear from the people who really matter. And that's the parents and the stakeholders of the Guam Department of Education, a public school system. And my colleagues, their eyes are already open, but I think that was really like the exclamation point that I wanted heading into that emergency session.
It required, it put everybody on notice required that action was required. 7:53 in the morning, Senator Chris Barnett, sorry, Chris. That's the way we do this, as opposed to Chris D. Is in your mind, is the Lalu hospital lease dead on arrival now?
I don't think so. I'm not comfortable with they're kind of hard-headed down there at Adelup. I think that Guam law says that, any contract, long-term lease that you enter into has to be signed off on by the Attorney General of Guam. This Attorney General has already said, nope, not touching it with a 10-foot pole. It's illegal. You should have had the legislature involved from day one, which basically validated all of the arguments we were making on the floor. And, Ray, there were some times that I just felt like, was I speaking Chinese or what? Because I was really just putting forward straightforward points about what our job is, not whether or not the hospital was good or bad for Guam. Granted, I have my opinions about the deal, but like I said, I was willing to put this thing on the table and, sell it to us, which is how it should have been done in the first place. And I still, to this day, can't wrap my mind around why 6 of my colleagues, or at least one of them, couldn't come over to support this override and do the right thing, which, again, was, for us to do our job. That's all it was about, was let's vet this thing. And this bizarre deflection by a lot of these colleagues of mine who voted against the override, they were talking about everything but our job and talking about everything but why the governor doesn't think that legislative input and engagement is necessary. To me, that is the biggest mind blower, is that we've got this huge process in place and the governor's just trying to jam down this path and not, I mean, there's, granted, candidates been asking some good questions, but the media needs to ask the governor, why does she think that public and legislative engagement into this process is not necessary? Because it's huge. And at the very least, if she wants to snub the senators, don't snub the people of Guam. The people of Guam, and I think why we're able to move in this direction and really say a lot of things that we've been saying about this deal is because, like, every day I go out here, I'm talking to people, and by and large, they're opposed to this project because there are just so many questions about it, and they feel like they haven't been given the time of day. And, the only people who really seem to be pushing this project are the people who are, and I don't want to say it, but for lack of a better term, all the way in. I mean, they're the ones who are really pushing it blindly. This lease wasn't even complete enough for the AG to do a full review of it, and we had 6 of my colleagues who were just willing to go in blindly and support it, not because it was a good deal, because we don't know if it was, but just because that's what the governor wanted them to do.
Right, and that's the way it appears, is there are 6 members of the legislature that now work more for Adelup and the whims of Adelup than they do for the legislature and the people that they represent in that second branch of government.
I got to jump in, and I want to also, out of the other side of my mouth, defend my colleagues, because I don't think this is going to be this way every time we're looking at an override. I really have faith that it's going to be issue to issue. We were able to come together on big issues like the education emergency session, and I'm confident that when we start taking a look at the crime and public safety, I'm confident that we'll be able to rally behind that. But what gives me, what's troubling me right now is after the AG had come out with his opinion saying the governor's office came out with a statement, and their statement actually said that they didn't see any impediments to them signing the lease. And I was like, oh my God, you don't see any impediments? The AG said the whole deal was illegal. Like, are you blind? And now I got to wonder where the Admiral is. That's a great question for the media to ask as well. Will the Admiral still sign this lease if our Attorney General and our senators believe that it is illegal? And I got to say, I don't think that he will.
There's a space on it's their document. They put the Attorney General's name on that document, so it seems to me there's not a whole lot of room to back away from that. Or did you just highlight it and say, okay, this is not required here for us to move forward? The governor indicated that her remedies were probably going to be legal in nature, which signaled to me that she's still not interested in bringing the legislature aboard.
Why? I don't understand it. I mean, we've proven that we could ideas. We've proven that we're very thorough in looking at the issues before us, and I think the governor has to have faith in this deal. If she's willing to go this far down the path, in secret, then like I said, let's cut the lights on and tear away all the cover that they're putting on this thing, and let's let it see the light of day. And for the love of God and the people of Guam, if you really support this deal, let's vet it. Let's put it on the table and let's find out, what's good about it, what's bad about it, and let's truly work together to build a new hospital for the people of Guam. Whether it's at Lalu, which I don't think is looking realistic, or whether it's somewhere else that makes a lot more sense. We're committed. We said we're committed to building the new hospital, but what we're not committed to is this my way or the highway approach that Adelup is really.
If you're listening and listening along and would like to get a copy of it, go to the Attorney General's office, and I think it's under Opinions for 2023. You'll be able to download the entire thing, which is the letter from Doug Moylan to the governor and the Admiral, as well as the supporting documents, being the lease and the exhibits. I believe everything is whatever the Attorney General had to review, that is available on the website. Minute away from the top of the hour, Senator Chris Barnett, appreciate your time. Now I got to make my own time. I think I got about an hour that I got to figure out how I got to eke into my schedule so I can watch what you put on Facebook this morning.
Thank you, Ray. I'm going to be doing a live, and I didn't even get to talk about the governor's bill signing ceremony for the pay raise bill. I know I took a lot of flack for it, but I think the governor forgot that I actually voted for this measure because our little mini caucus, we didn't get the invite. And I haven't seen these 6 senators smile that much in session, so they look pretty comfortable over there.
I got you. Yeah, I wonder why. Does it have anything to do, and I asked Therese Terlahi yesterday, will it be the administration of Terlahi-Barnett or Barnett-Terlahi? Have you guys talked about it?
Ray, no comment, but I got to say, in everything I do, I try and put ladies first. So if that ever happened, it would definitely be Terlahi Barnett.
I don't know if anybody's got a problem with that. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Chris. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're KUSG again. Your Pega's best is the point.
Indicted last week by a Manhattan grand jury.
The former president and the world doesn't know the exact charges, but sources tell Fox that we can expect Trump to face more than 30 counts related to business fraud, including at least 1 felony. We expect these charges to be related to adult film star Stormy Daniels, the $130,000 hush money payment made to her, as well as a $150,000 payment made to former Playboy model Karen McDougal. Now, legal experts expect the indictment will include the falsifying business record charges, a misdemeanor that could be upgraded to a felony if, here in the state of New York, if they find that Trump falsified those records with the intent to commit another crime.
Fox's Brian Yanis outside Manhattan District Court. That crime could be violating a state or federal campaign finance laws. Ahead of Trump's arrival, New York City Mayor Eric Adams said security will be tight around the courthouse.
There has been no specific credible threats to our city at this time. And all New Yorkers should go on with their regular activities.
Adams said anyone who commits an act of violence during tomorrow's hearing will be held accountable. President Biden in Minneapolis this afternoon, where he toured a power generating factory.
My economic plan is building more clean energy future made in America. Not in America, made in America.
The visit, part of what the White House has dubbed the Investing in America tour. Russia is blaming Ukraine for a bomb at a St. Petersburg cafe that killed a Russian military blogger who supported the invasion of Ukraine. Wall Street on the first day of the new quarter, the major indexes closed mixed. The Dow added 327, the Nasdaq off 32, the S&P plus 15. America is listening to Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Subway's new Subway Series menu is a collection of greatest hits. But my number 7, the Mexicali, is on a whole nother level with the way avocado meets chicken and pepper jack cheese.
Outlaw! You tell them, Raiden. That's the number 2, the Outlaw Sandwich. They don't know flavor.
It's the greatest cheesesteak hit with juicy steak, pepper jack, and Baja Chipotle sauce. There's a better meat and cheese pairing than that. Shanzi, justify my point, please.
Meatball, pepperoni, and mozzarella. That's number 6, the Boss Sandwich, because we're the bosses of flavor. We're done here.
At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
NATO is expanding.
Finland will become the 31st member of the world's biggest military alliance on Tuesday.
We will raise the Finnish flag for the first time here at the NATO headquarters.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg in Brussels. The last country to have ratified Finland's membership was Turkey. It will hand its official text to Secretary of State Antony Blinken Tuesday. Stoltenberg said he would then invite Finland to do the same.
It will be a good day for Finland's security, for Nordic security, and for NATO as a whole.
Finland's president, defense minister, and other top officials will attend the ceremony. CJ Papa, Fox News.
A first-grade Virginia teacher who was shot and seriously wounded by her 6-year-old student has filed a lawsuit seeking $40 million in damages from Newport News school officials. 2 people are charged with cutting cables and knocking out internet service for thousands of people in Connecticut.
Norwalk, Connecticut police say Jillian Persons and Austin Gettings cut more than 2,000 fiber optic cables, leaving more than 40,000 homes and businesses without internet service last month. Persons and Gettings, who live in Asheville, North Carolina, were arrested on Saturday during a surveillance operation and detained on $200,000 bail. They're charged with larceny and criminal mischief crimes as well as interfering with police. Police say the optimum cables were cut on March 24th. Persons was caught by officers staking out a business in Bridgeport, and Gettings was found a short time later in a wooded area. Both are due in court on April 11th. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Nearly 43,000 people died in traffic crashes in 2021, the highest number in 16 years, with deaths due to speeding and impaired driving on the rise. That's according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Data shows a 12% rise in fatal crashes involving at least one distracted driver. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Did you know that our liver serves over 500 functions for our body? A healthy liver provides a wide range of health benefits. TMC's Center for Liver Health and Transplantation prides itself in providing world-class diagnostic and therapeutic services to patients with liver diseases such as liver cancer, cirrhosis, and viral hepatitis. The TMC Liver Center is known for the high success rate of their liver transplant program, capable of both pediatric and adult, deceased, and living donor liver transplantation. For more information, contact the TMC referral office at 988-8627. The Medical City, your partner in health and in sickness.
Hoffaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 26-year-old Johnson Nayik has been arrested for possessing meth and for burglarizing a home. The homeowner's surveillance camera captured several individuals loading a distinctive gray Toyota Highlander with items from his property. The victim later saw the same vehicle at a Shell gas station and followed it down Swamp Road after calling police. When authorities confronted him, a plastic bag with suspected meth was found in the vehicle, and the passenger, Mylene Aizawa, was sitting on top of the drugs. Nayik denied involvement in the burglary until he was shown images taken from the surveillance footage. He admitted he agreed to help the others in the video steal the items in exchange for drugs to sell. He was detained with cash bail set at $25,000. Aizawa was charged with possession and released on personal recognizance. Meanwhile, Senator Amanda Shelton has introduced a new bill that proposes a $100 increase in the cost of living allowance for Gov Guam retirees in each of the next three fiscal years. She had made that promise in the 36th Guam legislature and says she was taking steps toward safeguarding the $2,200 minimum COLA retirees currently receive through an annual $100 increase. Shelton says the legislature and Adelup prioritized increases to the minimum wage and public sector compensation plans as a way to help families. Bill 89 represents the best we can do for our retirees at this time. The cost of living on the island, which is reliant on 90% imported goods, has increased with inflation. Shelton notes that fixed income for retirees are among the most vulnerable to the impact of rising prices. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Victoria Lola Leon Guerrero is now officially leading the UOG Press as its first director of publishing. In 2015, Leon Guerrero was hired as a program coordinator tasked with reviving the university's publishing house. Last year, UOG Press became an affiliate member of the Association of University Presses, and Leon Guerrero was recently accepted for a press director residency program. She will spend 2 weeks shadowing and learning from the directors of Princeton University Press, New York University Press, and Fordham University Press. Leon Guerrero says it's an incredible opportunity to gain firsthand experience at a variety of university presses and learn from their best practices and publishing approaches. She adds that it will also allow her to promote the work of UOG Press. And the Tumon Bay Youth Orchestra's current season is coming to an end, and they will hold their season finale concert on Sunday, April 16 at the Lotte Hotel's Crystal Ballroom starting at 4 o'clock. A portion of the proceeds from the season finale concert will benefit the orchestra's junior summer and fall music camps. The orchestra will be presenting 2 music camps for elementary and middle school students from all over Guam who want to learn to play an instrument. The camps will take place in June and September. Information on finale concert tickets and on how to register for the summer and fall music camps, visit guamphilharmonic.org. And those are your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Joe, I sent you the thing, right?
Which one?
The class.
Sexy lady?
The
pottery.
Yeah, I sent you the sexy lady, but before that it was pottery for senior citizens.
Yeah.
Did you got that?
I already connected with the guy, and we're working on it in studio soon.
Okay.
So we can do the whole Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore.
I've had the time of my life. Where's the
you and me, Ray?
Yes.
I want to hold your hands and do pottery, bro.
Wait. Let me. I want to get it up on the screen here. It's not that picture, the other picture. There it is. It's because you were talking about something where people can learn like to play a new instrument, right? Okay. Here's a new hobby that you can get into. Now, I had a friend, really good-looking friend. I met her at the University of Guam, a fine art student, and she took me and a bunch of other people on a tour. And I did not know that at the University of Guam, they got a big stove.
What?
They had this big stove.
Yeah.
It's a what do they call that when you take your pottery and you put it in the big stove to
baking it,
to cook it? Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a name for that.
Right?
Yeah, and I can't remember what it is now. But anyway, so there is a potter's...
It's a kiln.
It's a kiln.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah, you did. I didn't know it. The Potter's Studio Guam has a free Manumco pottery class. Now, the question that I have is, I am over 55 years of age.
No.
Yes, it's true. I know I don't look it. Tell me how good looking I am.
You look so good.
Tell me how young I look. You look so young. But anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, number one, I should already line up for this thing. Every first and third Wednesday of the month, 10 in the morning until 11:30. Limited seating is available, and there's a phone number and whatever. So we'll get this out to everybody and see if we can get the guy into the studio to tell me a little bit more about it.
We will.
And so what would you make? You think about
an ashtray.
Make an ashtray. Right?
Or a bong. If he lets me make a bong, I'm down. Can we put that in the kiln?
How does that work? But here's the thing. A lot of people are thinking, okay, I'll just make some flatware or something like that, right? Something. But you could get you can make like a laddie stone, or build your clay into the shape of I don't know, the pretty lady that I sent you a picture of, or Chief Kipua.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I got to find a picture. Somebody had a picture on Facebook. And it was a picture of the statue of Chief Kipua.
Oh,
and the guy says, how come he looks Chinese? I said, he's not. He's Korean. It's Chief He says, what? It's Chief Kipua Park. Do you get it?
No. We got it.
Okay, here's the... Never mind. I'll see you at pottery class, Real Joe, and make our ashtray. Partly sunny today, highs near 88 degrees. Light and variable winds becoming southerly, 5 to 7 miles an hour. Partly cloudy, and overnight lows of about 76 degrees are in the forecast for later on this evening. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, and tomorrow, day after tomorrow, which will be Wednesday... No, it's Thursday is the day after tomorrow. It will be mostly sunny skies, highs near 86 degrees. Now, I'm going to give you a warning right now. We're not working on Friday. It is Good Friday. By some miracle, it made its way onto the calendar for the radio station. So we're taking Friday off, which means that there's going to be a potential for goofing off on Thursday night. I'm just alerting the authorities now at this time because it seems like the fair thing to do. All right, we did get some sunrise pictures from the eastern side of the island. Jeff was moving around as the sun was making its way over the horizon. Now I'm told that there was the weather wasn't all that great this morning, so maybe it could be a soggy Taco Tuesday morning out in that side of the island. But give it some time. Sun will come up again, partly sunny with highs near 88 degrees. Sunset, tonight is going to be at 6:33. There it is. News and weather together on The Point.
KFC's Lent menu is filled with so many seafood options, it's enough to keep you going for the entire Lenten season. They're all here. Popcorn shrimp, fish fillets, shrimp and crab Killiquin wraps, and our famous KFC shrimp burger. And now you can mix and match chicken and fish in both 6 and 12-piece family meals with sides and biscuits. KFC's Lent menu is available for a limited time at all KFC restaurants and for delivery at kfcguam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. KFC, it's finger-licking good for Lent.
8:15 in the morning, 888-255-888. TALK is the telephone number. Cousin Troy coming up in a second, and a note. Portions of the program brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And if you've recently friended Kim on from Security Title on your Facebook, sorry, that's not really her account. She's been hacked. Yeah. I gotta. That's one of my assignments this morning is to go back and identify that as a hacked account to help her out. That's how big she is. Is people want to get into her DMs, baby. Find out why? Because they do such incredible work making sure that real estate transactions, escrow, and title searches and things like that go as smoothly as possible. That's what they're experts at Security Title.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
It's 16 Ray Gibson Show until, what do we work until 10? Because we got Friday off, so I'm gonna make an investment in the entire 4 hours of the program. Now, I'm not going to say that we got the scoop. I'm not going to say that we got the scoop. I'm gonna let my cousin Troy say it.
You guys got this.
Scoop.
As soon as I heard him say it, like I typed out the quote exactly as I heard it. I sent it over him, and I was like, "For the record, may I ask whether?" I'm waiting for the response now.
So what's the FOIA here, huh? If it were ever to happen, it would be Terlahi Barnett, is what he said on the radio here this morning. And I may start the program. You know how Tall Tales, Bob Klitsky starts the show with the Second Amendment. I may start the show every day with hey, welcome soon to be Governor and Lieutenant Governor Therese Terlahi and Chris Barnett, right?
For nothing else but to annoy the living daylights out of people at Adelaide.
Oh yes, absolutely. And anybody else from the Democratic Party of Lou and Josh, I don't know. It's the whole thing. In the last couple of days. I mean, when somebody's introducing yourself, go ahead and let them. And it just seems to me, we got a couple of examples here of as Chris said, maybe they're just getting bad advice, or they're not taking their own advice. But the idea that we're going to sign this into law, we're going to sign that into law, because we don't feel that these people are competitive threats. But we're not going to give a whole lot of time a day to Chris Barnett's bill and just let that one lapse into law without any of the fanfare that a senator deserves for getting that kind of legislation passed by the body unanimously. You'd think that would be something to applaud, especially if it's to take care of the kids and the teachers in the schools, right? But no.
What I thought was really funny was that they didn't invite Sabina Perez, Therese Terlahi, and Chris Barnett, who actually voted for the bill. But front and center, smiling with the biggest smile in the world, was Tina Mooney Barnes, who wasn't even there to vote for it.
I don't know. Did you hear Will Parkinson yesterday refer to themselves as the minority?
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. They are the minority. There's ever since. See, I think Adelie made this gigantic political miscalculation at the beginning of the second term, and that was to get involved in the legislative speaker's race. And what it did, we were without a speaker for like a few days or something like that, right? And in that time frame, they pushed so hard and they interfered so hard that the Republicans were like, we're going to make a coalition. And the three Democrats, Therese Chalahi, Chris Barnett, and Sabina Harris, I'm just speculating here, we're like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this. We don't want to be a minority in our majority party. You know, we can get together with the Republicans and we can do the things that we need to do. And screw Adelie. We didn't like them in the first place.
Right.
Now we don't like them even more because they don't like us. And so where Adelie had an opportunity to bring those three Democrats in and say, you know what, we might not agree on everything, but let's work together as Democrats to do these things together. We can score some big wins. They just pushed the speaker away. They pushed Therese Chalahi away in all of their arrogance. They pushed away the second top vote getter, Chris Barnett. And, you know, Sabina Perez has always been a good friend of Therese Chalahi. And essentially, they lost their legislative majority. And a coalition was created. I think that's what happened. And I think that it was just a gigantic miscalculation out of this part. And look, we're paying for it.
Well, so what we need to encourage here, you and I, is we need to encourage at least one other member of the Adelie 6 to abdicate their position. I mean, it's got to look tenable right now. I mean, for a lot of these guys, they're people that are making, based on what they're seeing today, are making decisions on who they will or will not support in another year and a half when it's time for the next general election and the next time to make changes to the body. I think there's a whole lot of people on the Adelie 6 that whose positions in the 38th Guam legislature are not guaranteed.
Well, I think last week showed that they cannot be shamed into they don't have shame, but maybe they can be pressured into. You're right.
Well, I just start kind of moseying over on the other side and see what things are like with the breakaway republic of Sabine and Therese and Chris. I mean, things have got to start looking pretty good, looking good for them. And what with the great relationship that breakaway republic has with the other members of the body, the Republican true minority, there's an opportunity for these guys, for somebody to start working better with them so that their measures will see the light of day, so that their measures have got a shot at passing. I'm not saying that there's a degree of political payback that is going to take place, but you and I both know you need to snuggle up with the majority, and if that's the majority that you got to work with, well, I'd find a way to become part of that majority.
Are they that bright, though? I mean, that's number one. The second thing is, are these people even issue-oriented, or are they really just stooges for the governor being paid by the legislature, having been elected by the people of Guam? And so if they are, the latter, then there's really no convincing or compromising or anything like that. They're just always going to be stooges for the governor. Now, unless one or two of them can convince me otherwise, I will believe that all six of them are just stooges for the governor collecting a paycheck over the legislature.
No, that's the way it looks, and I'm with Joanne Brown. If that's what you're going to be doing, then next time just get a job at the governor's office and don't waste our time here at the legislature. Now, interesting that you reached out for comment from the governor's office with regards to this controversy surrounding the Democratic progressive. I was going to call them Democratic Socialists, not the Nazis, the Progressive Democrat Party of Guam.
Yeah, so I actually reached out to Lola Leon Guerrero, the director of Bureau of Stats and Plans, which is an Adelie agency.
I like Lola. Can I just? I've known her for a long, long time. This is a really, really smart girl, and I like her where she is, but I think there's more that she can do.
Well, she was the chief planner after Mickey Leon Guerrero, and she did a wonderful job there. And so, of course, it made sense that she'd be the director. So yeah, I like Lola Leon Guerrero too. I emailed her and I asked her for the comment. Did you allow Julian Jansen to do this during working hours? Because according to the criminal complaint, the thing was posted at 4:05 p.m. on a weekday. do you condemn or condone the allegations? And so she didn't respond. Crystal Pacos Augustine responded on behalf of the Bureau of National Plans. This is now an investigation by the legislature and the Guam Police Department. It's a personnel matter. I didn't understand that part. And so therefore, we're not going to comment.
But that's not the answer to the question. The question is, do you condone this?
Well, and the working hours thing, like, that's just such a clear-cut thing. Is it something that you approved or didn't approve?
Well, okay. We'll watch and see what's going to be happening with that. Right now, I'm getting word from at least one person that Chris Duenas should have recused himself from the conversation. Did he not? Did he vote to support that resolution? Should he have? It's a point that one of our other cousins is asking is maybe that Chris Duenas should have recused himself. He said this morning that he has recused himself from any further activities with Resolution 67. So I'm not sure. In your WhatsApp, I've just sent you a copy of a letter from the governor of Guam to Andrew Atoigui, nominating him and appointing him as deputy director of the Department of Corrections.
Yeah, I heard he's from Talapopo and he is an airport police lieutenant or something like that. Yeah, I don't know him at all.
Don't know, but it looks like things are moving in that direction. Chris Barnett asking a question I'm sure you heard is, where's the Admiral today? What's he working on? Is he at the office counting down the days before he pulls out the lease out from under the governor?
It's a great question. It really is a great question that Chris Barnett is telling the media to pose, and we'll send an email over to Joint Regions today. Thank you, Senator Barnett, for
because he's in the business of getting things done there. You heard that, right?
Well, what's happening with the lease now? Like, because I would think that Joint Region wouldn't want to get entrenched in this scandal and this controversy after the AG has said no can do. Are they just going to push it through? I don't know.
I'm just wondering, is Washington aware of what's going on here?
I would imagine that the Admiral would have to get the Admiral would have to.
It just feels like, why would you want to be embroiled in something like this? Look, we got other work to do on Guam. Tell you what is, don't wait it out. Just pull the lease now and wait out a time where the governor seems to be getting along better with the legislature. This isn't going to be the last deal. Maybe down the road we'll talk about giving FENA back or something like that. But in the meantime, it would be a good idea not to get in the mix. It's like watching big dogs fight. You try to take them apart and you get bit yourself.
Yeah, you would think, right? I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is over there.
Well, and for all of the improvements that they have made in community relations and working with all kinds of different groups to make sure they get it right, rescuing the big trees up at Anderson Air Force Base, and making sure that we've got a beautiful repository for all the stuff that gets dug up in the construction. You would think with all of those victories, they wouldn't want to jeopardize that by getting in front of this issue that already has original landowners annoyed.
How many predecessors of his did it take to build the sort of community camaraderie around the military buildup, and for him to get embroiled in a mess like this that jeopardizes that relationship? I think it was ever since Admiral Bouchon or Admiral French.
I love Bouchon and I love French. and Admiral French absolutely loved it here. Hated going to San Diego. The last time I saw his wife, she was wearing a big Guam seal on her neck. That much, and she was in the States. That much love for the people of Guam. And of course, Bouchon was a pretty good guy. So yeah, I don't disagree. I'm getting another text from somebody maybe answering a question for me. 8:27 in the morning. Trying to remember if there was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about here, and now if it was in my head, it's gone now. What are you chasing down here and in Saipan today?
So did you see that article in The Economist about the possibility of China?
Yes, I just posted it. I wasn't able to read the entire article yet. I've got bits and pieces of it to go through, but I'm annoyed at some of the language that they were using. They called this a spec and referring to telling us that the phrase "where America's day begins" is being used incorrectly. I'm whoa. Let's start. Do you love us? It sounds like you want the Chinese to nuke us.
Well, when you look at a map Saipan and the Northern Islands are actually closer to the horizon than we are. So, I mean, there's that. But the other thing is, so we've been holding on to a story out of, I think it was the Philippine Star, I can't remember, somewhere in the Philippines, about President Marcos beefing up the alliance with the United States, and it has everything to do with this future Sino-American conflict, or the conflict that's going on right now, or whatever the case may be, right? So we've been wanting to get to enter into coverage in this whole, like, is war a possibility thing. I spoke with Congressman Jim Moylan, who agreed to an interview on the matter. And I was like, I know there are certain things you can't tell us, but, whatever you're able to tell the people of Guam about our readiness, the prospects of war, and, everything else that you're hearing as a member of Congress about what could be happening in the future, our audience would greatly appreciate that. So whenever he's next back on Guam, we're expected to have an interview with him about that. I wanted to hold our coverage about that and hold the Philippine story until after that, but then this Economist story came out, and I thought, well, I guess we should come up with a story now.
Right. It's not behind a paywall, but you might need to register so that they know where you are, and can eventually, if you keep reading Economist stories, send you a bill for it. But it is kind of an interesting article, and more so to a point that I have been trying to make for about the last year or so. Since Biden got back into office, all of a sudden North Korea has been ramping up the number of tests and shots that they have been firing from their part of the peninsula to the other part of the peninsula and into Japanese waters, and arguably they're working on technology that could bring some of that into range from Guam. We know that the Chinese have been a whole lot more active around the Taiwan Straits and even incursions into Taiwanese waters, only to get turned away so far. I mean, harassment trips. We also know that Russian Russian bombers have been seen in this area, and then of course we had that whole balloon flip-flop that we learned about after it had traversed around the area here. So there's a lot to be worried about, but I don't know. There's nobody talking about it. There is no like full court. Send everybody a handout, put something in the media that says this is what you should do if all of a sudden you hear the all hazards warnings and it's not Tuesday at 3, right? What are we supposed to do? Are there plans that we need to have? We are typhoon ready 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That we make a big deal about tsunami threats here on Guam, and there was even a time you can go to the movie theaters and they'll tell you what to do in an earthquake, but we're not necessarily getting told what we need to do in case of an attack, nuclear or otherwise, by any of the new axis of evil.
Well, if you remember Guam, anything about Guam history, one of the quietest days on the island was December 7th, 1941, when everybody was wondering, where did the Americans go?
What happened? It's just a handful over at the Marine barracks in Sumai and the seaplane ramp and all of that stuff. Just a handful of them. My great grandfather was given an opportunity to leave, but he couldn't take everybody in the family, so he stuck around and ended up getting taken to Kobe, Japan, and had to sit out the war out there with all of the other old white guys that didn't want to leave Guam because they were already married and had kids and grandkids here. 8:32 in the morning. You're absolutely right. We do need to. There does need to be some conversation about what happens when Taiwan gets attacked, because arguably, from everything that I've seen, all of the war games that they've played, Guam gets taken out.
Yeah, and is it just Taiwan that we need to watch, or is it Ukraine that we also need to watch because of this new and very scary, like when I heard that the Russian and the Chinese presidents were meeting with each other and they were aligning, and I thought, I don't think that that's happened since before 1900.
Oh, I'd have to look it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I can remember world history correctly, I don't think the Chinese and the Russians have been this friendly in more than a century. And so, and they're both superpowers now. It's like a different world, you know.
They're economic powers and they're military superpowers, and bear watching for sure. 8:33, and can the Americans fight war on two fronts? And you're saying, but we're not at war right now, Ray. There's a proxy war in Ukraine that is going on, and it is taking a whole lot by way of cash from the United States of America and tools for fighting wars. And I hope that they're replenishing the stock as we are sending it to Ukraine, and certainly replenishing the stock that got left in Afghanistan, for heaven's sakes. 8:33 in the morning. Cousin Troy, you're scaring me here. Knock it off. We'll get caught up again sometime very, very soon, and it might be worth reaching out to or awaiting an answer from Chris Barnett. Further clarification. Yes, open that can of worms. Come on, let's open the can of worms every day. Is it Barnett, Terlai, or is it Terlai Torres? Will only candid and point listeners know.
Terlahi Barnett.
Terlahi Barnett. I like that. It's 8:34.
No, Torres. There's no Torres anywhere.
Yes, cousin Troy Torres. I want you to run. That was it. See, I wanted to put together a coalition. It was going to be the Republican Party, and I wanted cousin Troy in there and Pika Farron. You remember?
I love Pika. Pika would be an excellent governor of Guam.
Okay, so can I just, rumor control here. I've been talking about this over the last couple of days, and so you're the only one that I know that has a better direct contact with Pika than I've got, because I keep talking about it, and we keep not getting any confirmation that they're reopening the kitchen lingo. They have taken out an ad in the newspaper for the ABC, one of those compliance ads that they say, all right, we've applied for an on-sales beer and wine, alcoholic beverage on Martyr Street, which was the location of the original Kitchen Lingo. So the question that I have, cousin Troy, is when are they opening? Forget Dun Dun Donkey. When is Kitchen Lingo coming back?
Okay, we'll ask. Pika is Johnny's first cousin.
Okay, so she can't ignore her cousin.
Yeah. So
okay. That's
I can't promise that. I can't promise that you'll get an answer on your record.
Bro, ski cousin, that is the scoop. Never mind Terlai Barnett. The scoop is Kitchen Lingo is going to be reopening, and we just need to know when. I need to know when so I can set aside some money, because it was never cheap, but it was always one of my favorite Thursday night go-tos.
But the food, anything that Lenny and Pika make, right?
Oh God,
it's delicious. But by the way, Candid is going to not be operating between Thursday and Monday, just FYI.
Right on. I understand why. Our last on-air activities are going to be at 10 o'clock on Thursday, and then Tall Tales, and then we're taking Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Awesome.
All right, man. All right, I'll talk to you pretty soon, because you have a great time. I'll see you at the gym.
You too. God bless you.
Yes, oh, good luck. God bless you. I.e. bless you too. It's 8:36 on the Ray Gibson Show, and this I've yet to get this confirmed. You would think that there would be all kinds of other people just as excited. And is it outside of this? Is it some great secret that Kitchen Lingo is coming back? Come on, food and wine distributors, wholesalers, get me some details. What you've been dropping off there? Where's Bill? Let me go find Bill from Rogue.
Some of the best places don't need attention.
Yeah, but I just don't want to get. I don't want to be like surprised. All of a sudden, I'm passing by and the lights are on again. Man, that was a thing. Yes,
it's
Donna.
Coming.
Donna's laughing at me as usual. Okay, 8:36. Ray Gibson Show, and last big look at news and headlines with Donna D. Plus celebrity birthdays is coming up. Just in time for Lent. It's our delicious BK Big Fish Sandwich. 100% white Alaskan pollock, breaded with crispy panko, topped with sweet tartar sauce, tangy pickles on top of a warm toasted brioche bun. Also available, our Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Enjoy your Lenten season with French fries or our new mozzarella sticks with a refreshing brewed, sweet, or unsweetened tea. We are ready to serve you this Lenten season. Now available at BK Hagåtña, Tubon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day. You rule.
Hoffaday, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Sorry, just taking a pass at the celebrity birthdays today, looking for somebody. Because it's always one of those, I never know when I mention a name, what reaction we're going to get from Donna. So, because it's like, there's sometimes I'm thinking she's going to go, oh my God, this is so-and-so, it's my favorite. And then I'll mention the name, and it's like, she just makes that. That's an actual Donna trademark sound. All right, and now it's 8:38 though. With our last look at big news and headlines here this morning. Is Donna D.
The CCU has designated GWA's Teresa Rojas as acting legal counsel for GPA after the CCU made the decision to terminate Graham Bota as GPA's legal counsel based on lack of honesty. Commissioner Simon Sanchez shifted focus to filling the vacancy and recommended Rojas. The motion was carried unanimously. And a drug detection dog from Palau was evacuated to Guam recently for advanced medical treatment. Keiko is a 5-year-old Belgian Malinois, one of 8 working dogs provided by the U.S. to Palau under the Building Partner Capacity Program. Last month, the medical condition required a level of veterinary care that was unavailable in Palau. The dog went to the veterinary clinic on Naval Base Guam, where officials marked improvement in her condition. And 8th, 4th, and 5th grade students will be cooking live today at Jose Rios Middle School in Pidi for the Future Chefs Challenge, hosted for the last decade by Sodexo, the food contract management service for GDOE. The winner of the district competition will move on to a regional round to compete among other students from across the nation. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
All right. Do you use the snooze bar?
No.
It's just multiple alarms, right?
Yeah, multiple alarms, but
Okay.
they're all like no snooze.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't. I've got multiple alarms. I don't use the snooze, and apparently we're in the minority. 61% of adults use the snooze.
Oh.
61% of adults spend some time at the snooze bar.
Oh my God.
All right, celebrity birthdays today. What? Never mind. Real Joe. Little fascinating tidbit about Real Joe. He is usually in the building just as I'm waking up, just as I'm, maybe I'm turning on the hot water heater and I turn on the coffee maker, and that's when I get a blurb from the alarm system that it has been disarmed by Joe Cruz, and I'm like, okay, that's good. It kind of scares me when I don't get that blurb. All right, celebrity birthdays today include Craig T. Nelson.
Wow!
From The Incredibles.
What?
He is 79 years old.
Okay.
Isn't he from somewhere else? Where is he from?
Coach. He was on.
That's right.
He was on Coach.
He's also the voice of Mr. Incredible.
I believe so. I believe so. All right, another celebrity birthday here. You'll recognize the name immediately. Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. is 58 years old.
I'm Team Stark.
I liked him in Less Than Zero.
Oh my God, Less Than Zero.
Weird Science. He was in that too.
He was
Weird
in
Science?
He was in
a
Weird
bully.
Science. You know why? You know why you don't remember him from Weird Science? Because he got his teeth fixed. So, no, I'm serious. The young Robert Downey Jr. used to have a gap in his teeth like Madonna.
That's right.
Oh, but hers was on purpose.
Was it?
Now
Okay.
I
she
remember.
put a
But
gap.
he had his closed up right about the same time it was Bad Boy Robert Downey Jr. And now he's cleaned himself up. He was in what's his name, Watson.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. He plays
He was
Sherlock
good
Holmes.
in that.
Very, very good in.
Wait, how old is he?
He's 58.
No way.
I thought
God,
he was
he
my
looks
age.
great.
I thought he was a little bit older than that. Nancy McKeon from The Facts of Life. Is that the pretty one or the
that's
fat
Joe,
one?
right? Oh, no.
No.
No?
Yeah, that's the little bit heavier one.
Is
I
it?
think she was the funny one.
Nancy what? Let me look at it.
Nancy McKeon
Oh.
Yeah.
is her name.
Yeah, she was the goofy, chubby one.
Chubby?
No, she was Joe.
No.
She was. I
Is it?
just looked it up.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe.
Okay.
All right,
She was a
sounds good.
tomboy.
Hold the check.
I had a crush on her
Wait,
too.
the tomboy? She was
Yeah.
the
She was a
tomboy?
tomboy, yeah.
Yeah.
She had a motorcycle. She liked to wrench on cars and.
Oh, God. Did I ever tell you about the motorcycle chick I dated?
Oh no!
Once upon, I don't know, it was years and years, about 1 million years ago, but it was one of the crazier times in my life. Everybody should date. All guys should date a motorcycle chick at some point in their life. Like it's like I always talk about the lumberjack girlfriend and the paddle boards. Same.
And the
same
bush
kinda-
cutter chick.
Bush cutter chicks, absolutely. And Jamie Lynn Spears.
The sister.
Younger sister of Brittany is
Brittany's
32 years old today.
What a great role model she had.
Yeah, yeah. Wasn't she the inspiration from Pregnant at 16 on MTV or something like that?
14, Ray.
If you are 842 Country Girls, what do we got here? Hug a News Person Day.
Oh. Bring it in tight, Donna. Bring it in tight.
I'm not not a news person.
She's not a hugger either.
Vitamin. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But there is a growing trend among women that I know, and it might be just my Filipino running friends, but every once in a while I'll go in for a hug, and we're tomorrow guys. We always go for a kiss on the cheek, right?
Oh yeah.
But what I'm getting a lot of these days is they put their head into my face.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
They move the cheek. They move the cheek out of the way and just kind of lean in with the
bob
head.
and weave, man.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not sure whether it's me or not. I mean,
It's a defensive situation, Ray.
Yeah, because the other thing is,
It's not you, dude.
I learned to stop doing this with my white friends because they go, "Wow, that's just weird. Stop it." But sometimes when I go in for a kiss, I get a little bit of ngingy in there, right?
Oh yeah.
Because that's the way my grandmother kissed me, right? So you lean in for a kiss.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of
Take
a
a big whiff.
Biden sniff. You're learning a lot about me today. It's Vitamin C Day.
All right,
In honor of Vitamin C, may I suggest that you go to the beach?
Oh,
And get some vitamin S. It's actually
I
Vitamin
see.
C Day,
I
but I like
see.
to
There
say
you go.
Vitamin C SEA.
Oh,
So
that
go and get some
kind.
Vitamin C. All right, Chef Lingo has been hosting the Omakase events with Tom Akigami of Fire Slave Barbecue. If you are salivating for his cooking, then follow Fire Slave Barbecue on Instagram for their next special dine-in event. If you want to hang out
Yeah,
with...
you ever try that?
Fire Slave.
You ever try that? You sit there, you don't know what's coming, and they feed you?
No.
It's a surprise.
Huh.
That's what's cool about it.
Is that what Fire Slay is?
Are they endangered species by any chance?
I hope so.
That's 8:44 in the morning. All right, thanks. Actually, I know Tom Akigami quite well, but I didn't know he was doing something like this. All right, this sounds like an excuse to eat protein, red meat, and drink beer. So I'm totally down for that. And while I'm thinking about Dan, a reminder: the Tech Challenge obstacle course race is going to be coming up. Used to be held at the racetrack before COVID hit. Our 5K will be on the same trails, but there won't be any obstacles. I'll get you details on that if you're going to want to be a part of it. Otherwise, just go see Dan or Aaron over at Southern Mountain Gear. It's 8:45 in the morning. Donna, you're done for the day.
Okay, bye.
Okay, I'll talk to you pretty soon. Real Joe, quick break, and we'll come back with stuff that only boys are going to talk about.
I'm a boy.
Ha!
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and a commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts select care, net care, take care, and stay well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the second floor of the Baltesh Pavilion in Tumuning. Yeah. And a buddy of mine chiming in says, I'm with you. I will not be voting for any of the Antelope 6.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm just saying.
That's a bad attitude, Ray.
Well, there's still time to redeem yourself. I'm not, if you are a member of the Antelope 6, you know somebody you're working in the office going, hey, listen, I didn't sign up here to be a one and done. I didn't sign up here for this to be the end of my career in the government of Guam. I want to stick around for the next 22% pay increase here. So you need to. Figure out how to get to the center here. I'm not saying that you got to join the breakaway republic of Therese and Chris and Sabine. I'm not saying you need to change your party and become a Republican. I'm saying that you know what? When this group needs the 10th vote, maybe we ought to be that 10th vote. Maybe we ought to be that one that every once in a while is going to surprise the voters, and maybe everyone that's going to surprise the other guys here. It just seems to me that this is not. I mean, it's nice to be in the back of the bus, right, with the the tough boys and all of that. But every once in a while, yeah, you got to get up in the front and pull the rope. Otherwise, you'll never get your stuff out. 847 on the Ray Gibson Show. 888-825-5888-TALK. What's that? You guys don't argue with Donna D, says Jerome McDonald. Jerome posted a picture of his haircut on Facebook. Everybody go and comment. Rico. Rico B's online. What's that? I remember when I used to smell and kiss Tanloli Topaznia. I had to be careful because she'd choose a lot of red, saucy beetle nuts. Nick, not even going to patronize Goodman's store anymore. See that? Oh my God! There's the other one. There's the other one. And he's not the only one I've seen that said that's it. I'll go find someplace else to buy my fluorescent lights, my solar powered.
I'm not going to celebrate Christmas either.
Every day. If he can get the caning and fireworks bill voting, I may just vote for him after all, says Rico. Just be your own person and don't let anybody think for you, says Steve and Liz. Who else is playing around? Tattoo Shauna is online. I customize my alarm to cuss at me. It's great. Those of you that have downloaded the Point streaming app, can I just point out something that you might be able to find on the app? Back in the olden days, we didn't wake up to meep, 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 or some kind of ringtone. Back in the old days, we woke up to the radio.
I got you, babe.
That's it. And the Point app, the Point streaming app, has an alarm that will wake you up to 93.3 The Point, which would be good for those of you that want to wake up to that weird, spooky show, the Coast to Coast show. Every once in a while, you wake up early enough that you get that. Real Joe won't listen to that show.
I get scared, man.
He does. Every once in a while, there'll be somebody that is doing that David Blaine thing, where they're talking to dead people, and they'll get
yeah.
I tell you what, they had a really good one on last week, but it wasn't. She wasn't channeling dead people. She was channeling dead pets.
Oh yeah.
She was a pet psychic, and people had called up.
So you had a cat?
Yeah.
It liked to purr, didn't it? It purred a lot.
But it was astonishing the reactions that she was getting from some people. Oh yeah. And I'm getting the feeling like he says it was kind of rough at the end. But he said thank you because he had to go on a special diet towards the end, and
you made him special food.
You made him special food.
He was grateful.
Oh my God! So he's grateful, and he wants to come back. And that was the other thing about this. This is weird. I'm telling you, I love Coast to Coast. Right? When it's not the UFO stuff, when I do the psychic stuff, I cannot not tune in. And so apparently with this pet psychic, your animals can come back. They can come back. Have you ever had? I mean. I've had very specific relationships with pets going back in my teen years for sure, but the dogs that I'm closest to in my memory, in my adult memory, are my dog Mocha dog was a little Cocker Spaniel, and I'd kill to have a Cocker Spaniel again, but I'd want it to be just like Mocha, right? And Mocha, one eye. And unfortunately, fortunately, Mocha was...
What is it with you and one-eyed pets?
I don't know, man. There's some of I just like broken creatures. Anyway, so Mocha lived 16 some odd years. And that's a long time.
That's like 85 human years.
Yeah,
huh?
it was tough at the end, but I knew the dog wasn't suffering anymore, so that brought me a significant amount of comfort. And then there was another dog, Pago, that I kind of adopted me. It got him in we bought a house, and the dog kind of sort of came with it. And dog Pago was a beautiful chocolate Doberman girl. And she was terrific, very, very well trained, and would come. All I needed to do was whistle a couple of times, and that dog, whether it was down the street or around the back of the house, would come running, and not for food, to come running because he knew I was going to be around. Anyway, she died suddenly, and I just, I'm at the point now where I don't know that I could take that kind of pain again.
I get it, man.
Unless somebody came and if there was a way that I could guarantee that it would have similar characteristics to dog Mocha or dog Pago, then it'd be cool. People laugh at this, and they said, would you get another dog? I said, well, it kind of depends. How long do I think I'm going to live? Because what I want to do is I want to die first Because, like I said, I don't think I could take that pain. So I'm trying to, in my head, going, well, Mom died, she was this age. Pop died, he was this age. And so I start counting backwards and thinking about the lifespan of a dog and go, okay, now get the dog. And maybe, if anything, we'll die at the same time. Is that a good plan? I know it's kind of morbid.
Plan.
I know it's kind of morbid, but it's just, it's in my head. And what the hell? There's nothing else going on today, so I thought I'd bring that up. 8:53. Yeah, Pet Cemetery. You've got it right, Jose. The guys will be taking a day off this Good Friday. What am I going to be doing on your Thursday? Don't know what you're going to be doing on your Thursday out there. So many incredible people hanging out on the online. Didn't get a chance to say good morning to everybody. Cousin Troy, Ollie Malakas, Randy Landis is there. Big man Rico B, Bunkers there. Jose Tetpahagu, Zanzesi Cruz, Leslie St. Nicholas. Like I said, Tattoo Shauna is online. Where's that pretty little girl from Chuk? She sent me something and called me Papa, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to make of that. I'll be careful with my Valentine's likes today. 8:53 in the morning. Well, I got to be. You know what? I got to be careful. And everybody's got to be careful. There's a story I kind of teased you about earlier about a sexual harassment trial that is taking place now that involves state officials in Hawaii, and it's like it is a how to get in trouble. There it is. I found it. 8:54. Yeah, might have time to get through the highlights of this. While Hawaii's boating facilities rot, DLNR, Department of Boating and Ocean Recreation employees seem to have a lot of time on their hands. A sexual harassment lawsuit was filed on August 18th against DOBOR director Ed Underwood. Details, allegations running from 2017 to 2021. And it starts with this one, where the plaintiff had requested time off to get a breast augmentation surgery. Defendant Underwood told plaintiff that the doctor she was going to was not a good choice due to the fact that same doctor botched his wife's breast reduction surgery. Defendant Underwood sent plaintiff photos of his wife's breasts, and Defendant Underwood told plaintiff he would need to see before and after photos of the plaintiff's breasts.
Just to be sure.
Wow. In October, the defendant asked plaintiff how her breasts were healing and that he still needed to see before and after photos. Underwood said, it can't be that bad. You've seen, now let's see yours. The plaintiff ended up showing Underwood the pictures of her breasts, fearing that if she did not, the plaintiff would be retaliated against or lose her job. Oh, my God, Becky.
Oh, God.
It gets worse. In April of 2018, Underwood asked the plaintiff for help finding an email on his computer. When plaintiff went to Underwood's computer, Underwood scooted back in his office chair to make room for the plaintiff in front of him. When plaintiff was looking at Underwood's computer, Underwood placed his hands on the plaintiff's waist and said in a playful manner, "You can sit down if you need to while you're looking," and pulled the plaintiff down on his lap. Underwood then started touching the plaintiff's private area on her clothes and was rubbing it back and forth, asking, right here, after this incident, the plaintiff must promise me that if things ever really get ugly between the both of us, you will not say a word about this. It's like a how-to.
Oh, my God.
It's like here, Joe, I need you to look for a thing on my computer.
You're not related to this guy, are you, Ray?
God, I hope not. After that incident, the defendant told Underwood would tell plaintiff things like, "You don't pay attention to me anymore," make a sad face, and would say things to try to get the plaintiff's attention, like, "Something is wrong with my computer again." In June 2018, the defendant Underwood wanted to take plaintiff to a restaurant to celebrate her birthday and made reservations at Mariposa at Neiman Marcus. When the plaintiff and defendant Underwood were in the elevator, the defendant turned to plaintiff and said, "Ooh, we have the elevator to ourselves." Again, his hands found her waist. In September, Underwood asked the plaintiff what color bra and panties she was wearing and that he wanted to see them. Plaintiff told defendant Underwood no, and that someone would see. His response was, "Stand in the corner of the office and show me there," and he pointed to a blind spot. Afraid to tell Underwood no again, the plaintiff went to the corner and showed Underwood her bra and panties. Wow. I
think they're both guilty, Ray. Sometimes no means yes.
December 2020. Plaintiff was, oh my God, menstruating and had an accident in her long pants. Plaintiff changed into shorts, and when Underwood saw plaintiff in the shorts, he said to the plaintiff, "Nice legs. I'm going to have to make this part of your dress code," verbally, sexually harassing the plaintiff. This is just and then finally she said, "Look, you've got to stop. I'm soon to be married." He reported this. The plaintiff reported sexual harassment and assaults, and became aware of the plaintiff's reporting. Okay, so that's what happened. Eventually retaliating after the plaintiff. Like I said, this is a how to get yourself in trouble. Used to be, and maybe there needs to be more examples like this. I don't know if there's anybody listening from Human Resources, but not this Human Resources, but any Human Resources. Maybe it would be worthwhile having another primer on what constitutes sexual harassment in the workplace anymore in 2023. And based on everything that I'm reading, everything constitutes sexual harassment in the workplace in 2023. So you got to be careful. And the other thing is, there's just so many new managers, new supervisors. You know, because look, if we got to pay you $16 an hour, you're getting a title, and forget about a 40-hour work week. I own your butt. So in a lot of cases, there's a lot of new people that are becoming managers and supervisors for whom there has not been manager or supervisor training. And if you're not careful, those kinds of things can blow up in your face. There is a Society for Human Resource Management on Guam, SHRM. And if you absolutely positively need to get those guys in, maybe do some training with your new young guy managers. I'm not saying that sexual harassment it cannot flow from female manager to male employee. It can. It's completely possible, but generally it goes in the opposite direction. I also identify somebody in the shop that is going to be the person responsible for that kind of thing. Back in my old shop, it was the lady in accounting. And the lady in accounting got to deal with all of those things, and she could wield an iron fist and a velvet glove, definitely, if she needed to. Yeah, Margaret, I'm talking about you. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Radio stations KUSG have gotten you yet more coming up in the final hour of the program. Stick around for that. In the meantime, Fox News on KUSG have gotten you 93.3, where peak is best. Here's the news.
Awaiting arraignment. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Former President Trump is at his New York City residence ahead of tomorrow's court appearance in Manhattan on charges related to the reported hush money payments made on his behalf to porn star Stormy Daniels, as New York City beefs up security around Trump's home and the courthouse.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he's not concerned about crowds around the criminal courthouse getting out of hand. As he put it,
if you are prepared, you don't have to get prepared.
The NYPD says the bulk of its force will be in uniform Tuesday. Commissioner Keyshawn Sewell says they're watching for people with guns in the city where it's illegal to have them.
Even if you have a license, some of those zones include courthouses, federal buildings, and First Amendment activities.
The former president's arraignment is set for 2:15 p.m. Tuesday, but demonstrations before and after are expected. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Nashville police say the suspect in last week's deadly shooting at a Christian school spent months planning the attack. Police say they don't yet know why Audrey Hale did it, but they say the FBI is examining her writings. As Governor Bill Lee says, he's working on a number of reforms to improve school safety.
We will increase funding for mental health resources, double the amount of funding that we have for our school-based mental health liaisons, so that we not only have one in every county, but that we have multiple in many counties.
Outside the state capitol today, thousands rallied for gun reform. Many of them reportedly students who walked out of class. Construction related to a major oil project on Alaska's North Slope can proceed after a federal judge rejected requests today to halt work until challenges to the Biden administration's recent approval of the project are resolved. That means ConocoPhillips can go ahead with its work, which includes extending a road toward the Willow project. America is listening to Fox News.
Subway's new Subway Series menu is a collection of greatest hits. But my number 7, the Mexicali, is on a whole nother level with the way avocado meets chicken and pepper jack cheese.
Outlaw! You tell them, Raiden. That's the number 2, the Outlaw Sandwich. They don't know flavor.
It's the greatest cheesesteak hit with juicy steak, pepper jack, and Baja Chipotle sauce. There's a better mean cheese pairing than that. Shanzi, justify my point, please.
Meatball, pepperoni, and mozzarella. That's number 6, the Boss Sandwich, because we're the bosses of flavor. We're done here.
At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Holiday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Holiday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Holiday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Fox News.
Candidates for Chicago mayor made a final push for votes ahead of tomorrow's runoff election.
The Chicago mayor's race down to a moderate former schools chief Paul Vallis and progressive Cook County Board Commissioner Brandon Johnson, who've both been stopping at city churches and businesses while making their case for the city's top job and against their opponents.
His obvious statements on defunding the cops.
You know, people recognize that they need a leader that can bring people together, and that's what this moment has done.
Current Mayor Lori Lightfoot was ousted in the primaries. A new poll shows Vallis's lead widening to over 4 points over Johnson, with the number of undecideds shrinking to just 5 points ahead of Tuesday's runoff election. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Planned Parenthood and the ACLU of Utah have filed a lawsuit challenging a new Utah law set to take effect next month that would ban abortion clinics. Another virus outbreak overseas.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is sending personnel to Africa to try to contain an outbreak of Marburg virus in Guinea and Tanzania. They say it's deadly and spreading, and they want travelers to the area to avoid contact with sick people and watch for symptoms for 3 weeks. The World Health Organization says the Marburg virus is an infectious disease with high fatality rates and epidemic potential. The virus causes fever, chills, muscle pain, unexplained bleeding or bruising. It's spread through the blood or bodily fluid of an infected person or by contact with contaminated objects or animals. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News.
The ABC soap General Hospital marks 60 years on the air this week, making it the longest-running scripted show currently in production in the U.S. This week's storyline, a fan favorite, The Nurses' Ball, where cast members dress in formal wear and raise money for charity. Chandra Wilson of Grey's Anatomy makes a guest appearance portraying a fashion editor. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Half a day. This is Clara Manglona from Security Title with an important warning. Wire fraud is real, and home buyers and sellers are one of the biggest targets, even on Guam. When sending money by wire transfer, be sure to confirm the wire instructions by phone, not email. In this case, it's good to be suspicious and know who you're dealing with. Let the professionals at Security Title work with you to minimize loss due to wire fraud. We are here to help.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches.
Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply. Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and the commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts select care, net care, take care, and stay well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the second floor of the Baltej Pavilion in Tamuning.
Hey! So I like doing that every once in a while because it's social media. We do this on social media. Hey is the noise that you make when you see somebody that you like on social media. Don't really have anything to say. You just go, hey! Or you send them the traditional good morning thing. Order your favorite Subway Series sandwich platters on goodtogowedeliver.com or the Good To Go app. Enjoy the convenience of having the all-new menu of 12 chef-inspired sandwiches delivered to your doorstep at Subway. You got to refresh to be fresh.
Morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I love this meme. I sent it to my daughter. Said that in about 20 years, the hardest thing our kids will have to do is find a username that isn't taken. It's like that. You know, I was very, very clever back in the olden days. I had an email address at a variety of places, but they were all Kaduku, Kaduku. And it was always kind of interesting because sometimes I'd get email, just spam email, but people would send it to CAD, like it was short for something, right? Kaduku. And after a while, I noticed that a lot of people have got Kaduku, so then that morphed into Kaduku Ray. And then I noticed that after a while, it's getting hard to find Kaduku Ray free on any of the services because there's tomorrows everywhere, right? And so Kaduku Ray 671, I think, is the latest version of all of that right now. I might need to come up with some underscores or @ signs or something in there just to be able to make it that much more unique. But can you imagine how tough it's going to be for, like, the next generation of Joe Cruzes?
Oh, God.
Impossible already, right? 8 after 9 o'clock in the morning. 888-825-5888-TALK. Man, look who's online early. Amazeballs. It's Jack. Good morning, Jack.
Hey, good morning, Raymond.
How you doing there?
Usually it's the usual day. I'm spending money that I don't have.
To impress people that you don't like?
Yeah, there it is. In situations I did not put myself in.
How'd that happen?
Guam.
How did that happen? Yeah. You keep spending money because Guam is going to need now more than ever that 5% business privilege tax to support the 22% raises that are effective immediately.
I keep getting to a point where, I would have some discretionary spending, but no. I'm like a lot of people that don't work with the Gov Guam, that we're not there yet, and I don't think we're going to be there for a while. Yeah, I was here listening to you. I clicked on when you were talking about the sexual harassment and stuff like that, and the problems with work-related incidents. And as a young kid growing up, I knew that if I was going to get into trouble, always get into trouble with someone that had a bigger name than you. So whenever I was, in elementary, all the, through private school to Catholic school, I always, if I was going to get into trouble, made sure that I got into someone with a bigger family name. Because no way they're going to point to me, put a harsher penalty on me, and then let another guy go. I think that only happens in the movies, but as an adult, as you grow up, things change. But that has always been my motto. And number two, like Sister Mary Mark told me, says, don't put yourself in that environment. So those are the two things.
But it's hard. I mean, it's not like you've got to do, there's 30 people in your class. I mean, there's not that many to choose from. And after a while, you got your posse, and those are going to be your people for the year. Otherwise, what are you going to hang out with the brainiacs?
No, but I didn't hang out with them. But they're the only ones that I remember that didn't do their homework or got into trouble. But no real harsh penalties came out to them. Like I said, I got caught drinking beer during a wiener roast, and that was a long time ago. But I made sure I got caught with someone with a bigger name. And the worst that came down is that I had to watch the snack. What's that? Where you sold the snack bar, snack stuff over there at St. Anthony next to the
I remember it vividly. Yes.
Yeah, so that was my punishment. I had to come in early, me and him. And then, I think Cliff will remember this when we were at Sister Roberta's, Cliff Durkin. Remember this? He had swim meets, man, like 6 in the morning, and we got into trouble. And that's the other thing. When I went to Cathedral,
wait a minute. You couldn't get in too much trouble with him. His dad's a lawyer.
No, but we got into stupid trouble. It's not trouble that we planned and connived in. It's like, hey, this sounds like a good idea. Now, let's try it. And then, oops. And, no.
So the great thing about St. Anthony School, though, Anthony School, Jack, is there are so many niches at St. Anthony. And, it felt like lunch hour was forever. So you go eat, you take care of your business, hang out for a little bit, maybe play some basketball, or maybe don't play some basketball. Maybe you and your boys would go in the alleyway behind the church, in between the church and the cafeteria. That alleyway there, that was always a spot. Or the in between the church and the elementary side, that little causeway there that led out to where the statue is now, and the backside.
Always smelled like rotten milk, but
Oh, no, that was it. Yeah. All cafeterias, as a rule, I think, all smell like rotten milk. Maybe it's just a Catholic school thing, because the same thing could be said about Cathedral. I'm sure Bishop Baumgartner has got the old milk smell going on.
Yeah, so, and then the military taught me never fraternize. So,
oh my God! Just that smell, the smell that you're talking about, it's totally taken me back. I'm literally in first grade, black and white, cathedral grade school, khaki pants, white shirt. Oh my God! And shoes. I got my shoes they were Edwards shoes from the family shoe store, which is where the Bank of Guam is built on.
Yeah, run by right next to Millie's dress shop, right?
Yep.
Both of them run by Auntie Millie Duenas, wasn't it?
Yes.
At that time?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
I
anyway.
can smell that store too. Come to think of it.
I don't remember. It's been a while. But anyways, just to fast track, I was listening to you, Troy Torres, and it's kind of, you never want to operate from the point of fear or make decisions from a point of fear, because you always make a bad decision. If the fake pandemic has taught us. So you need to be reasonable about things, and you need to be contemplative, and don't get distracted by all the squirrels, because we don't have any here in Guam. So when someone starts pointing stuff at you, just ignore it. I'm still trying to figure out, what are they doing about because the military, to see them get that COLA reduction, it's painful. I was going through 2 months last night, and it was just sad, man. And I know it's a Sunday night, but I've never seen it that bad. So I just,
Isn't there a destroyer in town?
Huh? It was dead last night, dude. There was nothing.
Well, last night was Monday. Last night was Monday. You said Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday night. Yeah.
Okay, so Sunday night was quiet. So I was at Mosa's, and it's on and Mondays at Mosa's are hit or miss. I mean, sometimes you get in there and it is absolutely jammed up. Last night it was they had a good crowd, but it wasn't wall to wall. It wasn't like people were waiting outside, and maybe that's just because it's an off payday. For folks, that could be it. I don't know that we're feeling the impact just yet on the Ocola.
Like the article said, man, the message went out back in March. So, they're all prepared for the reduction on April 1st of their pay. But another thing is that, I read the newspaper, and it's sad the Chamber of Commerce just come out with this news, and you're a day late, $1 short, and you're complaining. The milk is already spoiled, and it's so sad to see what should be the forefront of the public sphere, the Chamber of Commerce. Back, if you talk to Lee Weber, he would tell you, man, nobody walked over to Chamber of Commerce. Now, I heard about you saying that the governor is getting bad information and make decisions on bad information. But you knew this back in the pandemic when first the PAG, the physician.
Oh, no, I was paraphrasing and repeating what either Chris Barnett or Chris Duenas had told me. There's bad advice that is floating around Adelup. In my mind, I'm going, okay, well, this is not new, but
no, it's not. I mean, it showed its ugly head when the PAG, the physician advisory group, said that's not what we discussed when the governor issued our policy. We heard it from Miss Rhodes when she said, "No, that's not what we discussed with her." When they came out with the implementation of what would be the lockdown and stuff like that. So, it's not bad information. It's just that she's getting information that isn't in Guam, the Guam's people's interests, and it's interest out. And you can't fault her. She got the upper hand. But the strength is still the legislature, and even though this push about the to do the vote, the veto vote,
the overrides
thing, it should have started with the pay raise, because everybody knew that's where the problem was the pay raise, and I don't know why Chris Duenas said, well, I didn't write it. She just said, yeah, I didn't write it, but I wouldn't mind it. Because that was actually a great idea that they would say, hey, man, this would go to the infrastructure of the schools rather than the pay raise, I have no problem with that. 90% of the people in the private sector would not have any problem with that statement. But then he went back, and, I understand about the forgery and stuff like that, but that's something that shouldn't be shy away. He says, you know what? If it came from my office and I put my signature, I'm proud of it, but it didn't. But it sounds like a good idea, but he didn't draw back on that. And so, we're at a standstill here, and,
there would have been. I don't think there would have been any political hay to make on this. But in the meantime, Julian Jensen and the the Progressive Democratic Party of Guam handed them something for which they will have a great time making hay with. I see what you're saying, and you're right. I remember reading that fake amendment, going, well, what's wrong with this?
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And then you asked me last week if the vote would have changed if they knew about the COLA adjustments to the military. And, for me, I told you what the long-term and short-term was, but that's not the question that you should have asked me. That's the question that you should have asked those 15 legislatures, because they're the ones who would have said, yeah, my decision would have changed, or yes, this decision would have changed. Because like they said, even what's his name, Parkinson said, well, yeah, I voted it this way, but if I knew this information, I would, whether it's bad information or not, but this is factual information.
Well, I take that with a grain of salt. I take statements like that with a grain of salt because it just, in my mind, there have always been a faction of people over at the legislature that will say one thing in order to curry favor, and then when it looks like the wind has changed directions, then they blow in completely the opposite direction. And we saw that happening with the override attempt. We saw that happening with the Adeloop 6 bunching up together, and for whatever reasons, and from what I heard from the few of the Adeloop 6 that I heard speak, I thought, well, that doesn't have anything to do with anything, and you need to reread the legislation. I don't know, Jack. I got to run. I do appreciate your points, though.
All right, brother. So you take it easy, all right?
Yes, I will, and I'm going to have that sour milk smell and the whole thing. God, sour smell from the cafeteria and the books. God, it was always great. It was cool at cathedral grade school, and I don't mean to make anybody feel bad about this, but like every year we had new books. Is my record. Every year we had new textbooks. It felt like we were, just wow, and new workbooks. That was always the fun. Was there would be a textbook hardcover and then a workbook, right, with the paperback cover on it, and that was always fun. The first couple of days of school were just terrific. Just going through the books and going, wow, look at all this stuff I get to learn, and I loved doing the math books when I was younger, and still liked math, but not so much. Like 8th grade when it started getting hard, then I didn't like it so much.
The food was good there, though, Ray.
Sister Roberta, Sister
Pigs
Roberta, that was her kitchen. That was her kitchen. That pizza.
Come on, man.
Where's
Spaghetti?
the recipe? I've asked 1,000,000 times. Come on, because there's an old nun.
Their crust was killer, man.
At where is it? At Oka, someplace that still has that recipe. And frankly, I'd love to. If we're bringing back recipes, how about the recipes from? Sargosi's. The governor on the other night over at the gala thing got up and spoke to the crowd, and it was odd because she actually referred to me. She was talking about growing up on Guam, and she's a little bit older than me, but we can say that we're from kind of the same era when you didn't have that many options for. I mean, it's amazing now. It's amazing. You get in a car with a girlfriend or your husband or whatever, and where do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know. Gosh, there's no place to eat. Oh, no. You go back to when we were kids. There literally was no place to eat. It was an A&W root beer on Marine Corps Drive. Charlie Corn had a place called the Panzateria. The Sargosi family had Sargosi's Pizza down around here. And if you were in the back road, you ate at Kinney's. The Cliff Hotel had some place to eat back
the red carpet
back in the day. There was Fjord's Smorgasborg, which was a restaurant. I'm trying to remember what's in that building now. It's up in Sinahanya.
Is that Butler's? Or no.
No. It's across from the condominium.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to, and it had, the great number of years that they were in business, but, there weren't that many places when I was a little kid. And it's not like we could go to Tumon, because the only thing they had in Tumon was a Galleon Grill and the one hotel that we had on that one side of the street, and nothing else until you got by the old Continental Hotel, and then down the street even further was what is now the Lotte Hotel, which used to be the Okura, and it had a couple of places where you could get something to eat in there, the Flamboyant. Tokyo Hotel, which is on the grounds in the dirt between where PIC is now and the Epal Beach Park, that green area.
Oh, yeah.
That used to be the Tokyo Hotel. And inside the Tokyo Hotel was some place to go and get something to eat. Amazing, became PIC. But there was no place to eat. And so she made reference to the place. She didn't say Cool Spot, but she did bring up the Cliff Hotel. Back in those crazy days, 9:23 in the morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number. I got this meme on the screen, and Jack reminding me about the liberties that were taken at our expense by people who probably could have waited a little bit longer to know better what we were getting ourselves in for. And it reads, you got your 2 shots, you got your 2 boosters, you're double masked, and yet nothing has changed. How stupid do you feel? You don't feel at all stupid. You know why? Because you are stupid is the thing. Now, I don't want to go quite that far and refer to people that were doing those things because they were, victims of fear porn. Public Defender's Office is where that is now. Okay. Crow's Nest might be a name that many other people will remember. It was Fjord's Smorgasborg first, and then it was Crow's Nest after that. Because
I don't remember that, man.
High ceiling, nautical theme.
Yeah.
Crazy times. Oh, yeah. And if you were in the Nigua area, House of Chin Fi. The original. It's H-Mart now. It's H-Mart now, which is so weird because you look at that building and go, man, I remember where felt like there was a big restaurant in there. And you could go in there and you get Chinese food cooked by an old Filipino guy. It was so good.
Hamburgers.
Best cheeseburger on Guam. These guys were making Stacks smash burgers before there was a Stacks. Anyway, 9:24 in the morning. I was just thinking about the... That sexual harassment case I was telling you about. Again, allegations that started in 2017 and went all the way to 2021. Don't you think in 2017 that maybe if the plaintiff had said, hey, you know what, this is making me uncomfortable, you should stop. If it lasted as long as it did, 4 years is a long time. And there are, in some people's mind, the legitimate idea of a work wife or a work husband.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there could have been some kind of misinterpreted feelings because you let things go for as long as you did? Oh, yeah, you can say I let it go because I was afraid that I would be retaliated against, that there would be some comeuppance, and so I didn't do anything until I was going to get married to somebody, and then it seemed like I better press the stop button on this.
I need that honeymoon money,
dude. I wonder if that's going to be the guy's defense, man. Well, she let me get away with it for this long. Anyway, 9:25 in the morning. Dr. Ron McNitch on the line. Good morning, Doc. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, half a day, Ray. Half a day, Guam.
What's up?
Well, I was thinking of Oncali versus Sundowner, 1997. Basically, under the standards of sexual harassment, pretty much anybody can sexually harass anybody else, regardless of males or females or heterosexual or gay or whatever. Anybody can sexually harass anybody, basically, and that was the standard, and that's been the standard ever since. And when I hear about stories like the one you mentioned, often, and again, I do this regularly. This is part of my field. Is in the area of public administration and personnel management. I'm an SPHR. I'm a senior professional in human resources. So I deal with these kinds of questions all the time. In my sense, from what you read, it's an over-familiarity between a manager and the employee. And he's bringing in, this is what happened with my wife, and look at her pictures. Mm-hmm. And so he's oversharing. He might have been well-intentioned in the beginning, but all the other shenanigans that they were engaging in, it's simply wrong. And especially when there's a power relationship between one employee and another, then it's very, very wrong. Otherwise it's just a hostile work environment. But Yeah,
So, but in 2023, are employees not mentally armed in order to make that problem, make that harassment go away, make that hostile work environment go away?
The issue is retaliation. The most commonly charged form of discrimination charged by the EEOC is retaliation. That's about 42% of cases that the EEOC sees. And so any employee complaining, and often retaliation is in the abstract. They're not going to retaliate against you because they did something inappropriate. They're going to find something else to go after you for. And that's often the fear that keeps employees in check from complaining appropriately. And that's why I tell any employee or any student, if students are complaining under Title IX along similar lines, always document it, always send an email, and don't just tell people about it. Make a written artifact about it and cite the federal standard, and that'll cover some of the bases.
Right,
and
right.
Talk to a human resources professional that can show you the right things to say in that communication to cover those bases. Because often, in this case, because this became public, and here's the part that nobody ever talks about, because this became public, that means that guy's manager failed to deal with this. This should have been put down by a good manager right above the person that was doing these behaviors. And in the moment somebody else in the workplace saw these kinds of bad behaviors, they could along from a bystander standpoint and put a stop to it also, because it affects the entire workplace. It's one thing to...
Well, yeah, because the guy's taking just one person out to lunch at the Mariposa at the Neiman Marcus. A smart guy would cover his tracks and bring her and everybody else to go to lunch. But taking somebody to lunch in and of itself is not necessarily a harassment move.
Right. There's a great case, early case, Ellison versus Brady from the late 80s, early 90s, and it created something called the reasonable woman standard, but now we call it the reasonable person standard. And that is, would a reasonable person feel uncomfortable in these circumstances? Would a reasonable employee feel uncomfortable that the boss is only asking them all the time, or only talking to them in whispers and things like that? And so you'll see these patterns. And again, these folks aren't very innovative. These are the same behaviors you'll see over and over and over again. It fits a specific pattern usually. And often the people doing these behaviors, they aren't very bright. They don't use rationality. They use emotion or lust to drive their behaviors. And so often this becomes a part of the mix of problems.
Well, you've got a boss that should know better, and so the point that I was going to make and that I did make at the end of this is in 2023, as we are emerging now from COVID-19 and with as many new hires of new employees taking place and many of them going into supervisory positions for which they are unprepared or ill-prepared, it might be wise for HR to start sending missives out there and just reminding people the absolute basics, things to look out for in your behavior that could jeopardize the company, could jeopardize your position as a supervisor.
And
never, ever use the eggplant emoji. There is no, unless you're in the kitchen, there's no reason to use the eggplant emoji in any of your communications with any employees. Just saying. And the donut.
Too much information, yeah. I feel harassed here, Ray.
Oh, my God.
The funny thing about a few years ago, more than almost 20 years ago now, I had an employee complaint. This young female employee claimed that her manager was ogling her and looking at her with lustful looks in the workplace. And so I took the complaint and I went in and I talked to the guy. And talking to him, I felt like he was looking at me in the same way. It was just the way the guy's eyes were in his head.
Right. It's kind of a Marty Feldman eyes.
Right. He'd give you that creeper vibe, look. And, it was pure physiognomy. It was purely just the way the guy looked. And, I think that there's the basic point that I always share about this is the more people can talk about this and create healthy boundaries in the workplace, the better. And by the way, there's one other thing I want to mention before I forget about it. So you mentioned the motorcycle girlfriend.
Yes.
So I had the bread baking girlfriend who showered me with baked goods all the time. It got tiresome after a while. And then I had the girlfriend whose mother wanted to go on all the dates with us, and her mother flirted more with me than she did.
What do they call that? It's an Australian thing, Australian something. I can't remember the name of it, and I probably shouldn't give you, even if I could give you the rest of it on the radio. You'll have to look it up yourself. 9:32. You know, my old man was running the Employers Council for a lot of years, and would be called in to help settle things in the workplace when things got a little bit too handsy. With supervisors and their, in many cases, young female apprentices in a lot of businesses here on Guam. And I just absolutely loved hearing some of the stories, but they all kind of revolved around the same thing, where there was just this kind of, it was understood by the guy that was like a perk of the job is, hey, look, I work in a hotel and there's all kinds of young ladies running around in the F&B and a bunch of young ladies in housekeeping that, I need to do an inspection on the room, which as Sister would refer to them, they are occasions for sin. And so he had to go in there and straighten a whole bunch of people out. In a lot of times, they would end in terminations. I'm sorry, we've had the conversation before. So you got to go, and it's always surprised me because it's in my mind it's a thing that is easy to avoid. If you just know a thing or two. My rule with guys working with girls for many years is, would you send your sister that text? Would you send your sister that picture? Would you send that to your mother?
But nowadays, it's not just young women, it's young men also. Back in the 1950s, the U.S. Congress wanted to ban comic books because they thought Batman and Robin were gay. And they wanted to keep youth from seeing, relationships that they even perceived were gay. Right now, our society operates differently and more openly than it used to. And just because people haven't seen it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And so often these same conditions exist for young males also, and they're put under these same pressures that young women are. I think it's an element of just being young. The most common victims of sexual assault in the United States are women between 17 and 25. And so it's an element of youth and the focus on youth, particularly from predators. So, yeah.
Matt Galenda says they called Robin the boy wonder.
If you go back and type in Batman and Robin gay on the internet,
I don't want to. Here's the thing. I think we are bombarded with unnecessary messages. If you're gay, if you're polyamorous, if you're queer, it doesn't matter to me. This is not the basis by which I'm going to found our relationship on. You're a good person. You're nice to animals and little kids, and you're not lousy around wait staff. I think those are good reasons for us to like each other. Everything doesn't need to be about your sexual orientation or what groups you support. So the less I know about that in many cases, the better.
But they get harassed just like everybody else. That was my point.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, there's good people and bad people, and there's predators of every stripe.
Right.
So whatever curls your toes, you're going to go out there and find it. It's just a question of how do we prevent something like that from happening in the workplace.
I can still smell those yeast rolls she used to bake. Right.
The leather jacket and the helmet. There's something about the.
Me in front of her too.
She'd pull up to the house and that motorcycle made a hell of a racket, and I always knew that she was there. That was nice. All right, buddy, I gotta let you run. It's 9:36. You have a great day.
All right, man.
888-8255-888-TALK. Among many other issues that we're floating around talking about, I just thought the Braun Panthy Party, work life in Hawaii, brought us a perk. I'm telling you. So what's going to be happening? What eventually happened was she decided, because she's going to get married or whatever. That was in January. She said the harassment and assaults needed to stop, even though I'm sure that at the time she didn't refer to them as harassments and assault. But she did finally tell them to stop. And in April, went to the union and the Civil Rights Commission. And apparently he did find a way to retaliate against her. So that might have been the trigger. That was like, hey, you know what? It was okay. Hey, brother, we'll pow, okay? We'll pow. Just don't do that anymore. Gonna get married. But maybe, you know, when he did, then all of a sudden he like loaded her down with like real work. Right? This is your punishment now for turning on me. Here's real work now that you have to do that I always gave to everybody else because you're my favorite. 9:38. Also, avoid the possibility of anything like that happening by referring to everybody on the staff as your favorite. Studio time is 9:38. Real Joe, favorite. Let's take a break.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Just in time for Lent. It's our delicious BK Big Fish Sandwich. 100% white Alaskan pollock breaded with crispy panko topped with sweet tartar sauce, tangy pickles on top of a warm toasted brioche bun. Also available our Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Enjoy your Lenten season with French fries or our new mozzarella sticks with a refreshing brewed sweet or unsweetened tea. We are ready to serve you this Lenten season. Now available at BK Hagåtña, Tuban Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day. You rule.
I rule. 9:39. Ray Gibson Show. Portion is brought to you by the team over at NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. What are we working on? Frontier season, baby. Frontier season. Did you test drive? Come on, don't let Lent end. Don't let Holy Weekend. Jesus wants you to test drive. Probably inappropriate. I take it back. Him and all the apostles. Test drive time. NissanGuam.com. Check out what you need to on the screen. And you can even put the package together, you know, pick out the colors and all the options that you want in there. And then, like I said, go on the test drive. You could win $1,000 and do whatever you want to with that. Grills and coolers, canopies, all kinds of stuff to help you lead that frontier lifestyle because they know you're going to buy it. And when you do, 0 down payment. They'll cover the first 3 payments. So it'll be middle of summer before you have to take out any money from the bank account to send to the bank. And the other piece of good news is we got a case of Spam and a 25-pound bag of rice for you. Again, it's part of that frontier lifestyle. Learn more at NissanGuam.com. Jose, Tet Pago online, Ollie Malakas, Colin Clark, Juanita Machi, Jean Flores. Good morning to Flo Santos and Harvey Egna, Bill Petit and Mercy Wenzel. Lou Bell is there, Richard Flores and Jerry Mansipit, Itita and C. Iriarty. Good morning to you, Cecile Bambasuda. I see Joey and Vanji Gogwi, Big Man Rico Blancaflor, Dennis Larson. Ray Gibson is online.
Wow, hey Ray.
Morning. So the reason why I jumped in was because I wanted to post a link to that story in The Economist where America's next war may begin. Ooh, we're in trouble. I don't know if we're going to be the scene for the next war. And by the way, today it's Tuesday. There's going to be a test of the all hazards warning system. So I don't want anybody freaking out, hair on fire. Oh, my God, this is it. Their Norks are coming. The Chi-Coms are here with their missiles. It's just a test. It'll happen about island-wide anywhere where they've got one. Aquino Maipi is watching the program. That's the one that called me Papa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good morning.
And somebody
Running
said
in.
the way I should interpret that is maybe I am her real father.
Oh.
You just never know. Ray McGravy, Esitong Moi Alifios is watching the program. So is Eric Chong. Jerica Clark. Hoffa. Lots of tattoos on that one. And speaking of tattoos, Shauna is participating. Debbie Hartzler, Mel Barnes, Kenneth Reduce, Sam Mabini Young saying, Oi! Boy, back to you. Jen Uggan Conception and Mike Grace Bloss. Great to have everybody here. Tuesday morning and short week for us. The program note, we're not working on Friday. Joe Cruz, Donna D, and I are going to be taking some time off. What's that? Last half hour, guys and gals. This is where the rubber hits the road. The time Ray goes on his epic rants. This is why we are here. Hit that like button. Do I need to do an epic rant? I don't know if I have anything to epically rant on. I mean, okay. Let's take a look at the legislature's website. Okay? And let's see what they're working on at the legislature. What are we going to do here that's going to cost us money? Bill number 90, an act relative to mandating electronic reporting. What's that? Transparency and accountability are two of the most important values when it comes to governing, says Roy Kanata.
No.
Who was okay with the governor hiding details on that lease agreement that didn't see the light of day until Doug Moreland said something. See, you got to be, guys, can we have our language back? Because I don't know, people keep talking about transparency and accuracy and stuff like that, and when we actually ask for it, you vote no on the override. Just saying, Roy. When citizens have access to information about their government, they can make informed decisions and hold their leaders accountable for their actions. Therefore, the government of Guam has taken steps to increase transparency and accountability with the release of Report 22-07. The report recommends that all written reports be converted into electronic forms to better ensure transparency and accountability with the government. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let me get to the punchline here. Notwithstanding any other provisions of law, all reports mandated by public law are to be submitted electronically to the governor, Speaker of the Guam Legislature, public auditor, or other entity as mandated. Electronic reporting shall mean posting on the agency's respective website with a notification sent via email with attachments to the required parties. Do we not already do something like this? Is this not already a thing? I was under the impression...
Yeah.
Communications, if it's got to be something that's sent down to the legislature, it'd show up on the website under communications. I don't know. Here's another one here. An act to pay. There it is. This is the Amanda Shelton bill here, guaranteeing, ensuring the provision of cost of living allowance COLA payments for Government of Guam retirees, including a $100 annual increase over the next 3 fiscal years.
Amen.
Ka-ching,
yeah.
Retirees. What do we got here? Another one. This one is going to be all right. Joe St. Augustine has introduced this. We had the people from Special Olympics in not that long ago, and it looks like they're looking for an opportunity to get their own office and training facility in support of the Guam Special Olympics athletes and programs. Look up Bill number 88 if you're interested in that. Sabina's got one to evaluate and propose updates to Guam's Uniform Commercial Code. I have not read that. That one looks like there's all kinds of room in here. Creating a mechanism for attorneys to evaluate and propose updates. Okay, I'm not sure what we're looking for in there, but we'll see. And this one is Will Parkinson and Roy Kanata relative to allowing individuals to change their legal sex designation on their birth certificates. Again, I want my language back. I printed it out yesterday and was going through this. It's we want to protect the integrity and accuracy of vital statistic records by allowing people to go in and change them. There's a whole section here about how you're going to get in there, subsequent to this, that, or the other. Okay, the Superior Court of Guam shall seal the certified copy of the court order allowing for the gender change. So that will go under seal. It will also seal the application and the original certificate. The amendment shall be registered with and become a part of the original birth certificate. A certified copy of the birth certificate issued to the individual shall not indicate that it has been amended, and shall be issued to the individual without any additional cost. It becomes the illusion. We're going to take your original boy part birth certificate, and we're going to get the order from the court again that makes way for it to change, and then a new birth certificate, almost said gift certificate, will be issued. There will be no mention of an amendment. There will be no issue of mention of any changes of one kind or another. It will become your new, but it's fake, birth certificate. Are you following what's going on here?
I'm following, yeah, man. I'm confused, but yeah, I'm curious.
What kind of curious are you, bro?
I don't know.
It's okay. A petition made pursuant to this section shall be accompanied by supporting documentation that is an affirmation from a physician licensed to practice medicine on Guam, or an affidavit from a professional licensed to practice in Guam, a doctoral level psychologist, PhD, PsyD in clinical or counseling psychology, clinical social worker, master social, blah, blah, blah. Such affirmation or affidavit shall include a declaration affirming or attesting under penalty of perjury that the professional is licensed and in keeping with contemporary expert standards regarding gender identity, the applicant's requested correction of sex designation of male or female more accurately reflects the applicant's sex or gender identity. Never mind biology. This is identity. And so we'll get three guys to back you up on that, and then we can go to court and get an order. And like I said, the magic will commence, where we turn the water into wine, where we take your original birth certificate, make an amendment, take that with the other parts, seal that forever, and issue a new birth certificate, as if that was the one that came from.
Then we can use the ladies' restroom, Ray?
I guess.
All right.
Soon, do you want to?
Yeah. It's cleaner.
They generally are cleaner, and they generally smell better. 10 away from the top of the hour. Who's on the phone?
Line 1, Kellis. Line 2, Ken Leon Guerrero.
All right, let me take Kellis first. Good morning, Kellis. What's on your mind?
Well, so I like that you said it is the gift for the new birth certificate. So wait, are you saying that you don't actually have to have a snip, a cut and a removal?
No, you do not.
So
I mean, you can, but what we're going here is with your identity. So if you are identifying, and you can, and my guess is it's all ministerial over at the courts, because I think that would be the trigger to make those changes, is some kind of a legal document coming from the judge is going to ask a doctor. So does this person truly, honestly, and fully, sincerely believe that he is now a she?
And I would trust the person, because I was just wondering, so let's say, for example, if I haven't been snipped, if I'm involved in, let's say, either a murder or a rape, let's say a rape, and they have my sperm that says I'm 100% male, and then they go to the records and it says I'm a female.
There are some safeguards that have been written into this that require an affidavit to be signed that says basically you're doing this in full sincerity, and you're not trying to hide from anything, and that you're not otherwise embroidered in other legal activities. So yeah, they did take a look at that.
Well, because the thing is, there's a case in the States relatively recently, a guy that was arrested for 2 or 3 rapes, identified as a woman so he could get into a female prison. And so they put him in a female prison because he identified as a woman.
Ain't justice grand?
Because, I and you know this, Ray, if I certify that I am a duck, then I am a duck. There's no way for you to prove me not being a duck.
If that's the identity, then it seems to me that we should all be able to do that. My name is Ray, right. and maybe I want to identify now as an African American woman.
Well, or you could be an avocado. I mean, it's just as likely. But what I'm getting at is that if the proof, in other words, of the whole thing is the person's testimony, and we know nobody lies.
Well, no. It says it's got to come with some paperwork from professionals that can certify
You know,
that this is sincerely your identity.
Right.
But therein lies that slippery slope.
Yeah. If I pay a doctor enough money, he's going to say I'm an avocado because I identify as an avocado. And the only way that you could prove that you identify as an avocado is you have to tell the person who's going to say that this is what you are. So as long as I keep saying I'm a woman or I'm an avocado or I'm a duck, and if I don't change from avocado to duck to, an African-American 6-foot woman,
right,
etc., if I just keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, how are they going to prove otherwise?
There's, this is the slippery slope that we're on, and I'm in my head here, Kel. I'm looking at this, and it's going to make for some interesting publicity, and all kinds of other people to, bleeding heart whatevers, and all the testimony will be rich. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what the legislature is going to look like on public hearing day for something like this? And then at the end of it, the 20 or so people on Guam that might want something like this may or may not bother with it and just continue to live their lives. So I think it's going to end up being much ado about nothing. I got to break away. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Okay.
All right, man. Have a great day. Last spot break here, Real Joe.
Oh, yeah. Not, okay.
Do I have any more?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can do that.
Press.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tenactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
9:54 in the morning. Ken, I'm not going to be able to get to you. I got a bigger name actually in the studio. I got Jerry Roberts, and he runs an outfit called GuamTraining.com. You can find all the extra points out there and all that. You don't need the headphones on. It's not like we're going to, we've got music under us or anything. We're not doing just production. But I give you, we were talking earlier about a case in Hawaii, the bra and panty parties at the office, and managers getting in trouble for taking advantage, essentially, of employees. Probably should know better, but maybe we're enjoying the ride for a little bit until it got to be a little too much for them because there is now a third party, right? So she's going to get married, and she didn't want the attention from the boss anymore.
Look, the idea is that when someone says no for the first time, that's no.
Yeah.
Period. Okay. Even if they've said yes, 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 at the first point they say no, then it's no. Your dad. He and I got into a discussion one day. He was writing for Directions Magazine, and he had told me about a case when he was running the Employers Council. There was a case with a large client of his, a member of the Employers Council, had a manager, apparently, who was involved with something like this.
Pop told great stories.
Huh? Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, there was a large lawsuit involved with it, which the client ultimately lost because the manager apparently fibbed a little bit here and there. Managers, when they're hired, everybody's a frontline person until they're not, right? So they become a manager. Virtually nobody is trained.
Correct.
When they become supervisors. No, almost nobody. And I know that because I've been doing this for 27 years. And they come to me later and they say, can you train somebody? Can you come in? Can you help our team? If they would hire me or someone like me to come in earlier in the process, sometime in the first year, then a lot of problems could be alleviated, because you've got to get people. They have to understand there's a difference now between frontline and becoming a supervisor.
Right.
It's not just sexual harassment. There's a lot of other things to do. I mean, you pay somebody $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, and then you don't spend any additional money to get them straightened out. in how to manage, you're wasting your money.
In the meantime, you put them in a position where they've got your business license in their hands, in their pockets,
and they're making decisions.
Yeah,
they're making decisions, and they're not qualified to make those decisions. So it's always been an interesting thing for me to have conversations with CEOs and HR people about why they don't spend the money, early on in the process. Well, there's no budget. Well, then create the budget.
because there ain't no budget for a lawsuit that's coming your way either, is there?
Right.
Yeah, and it's going to be bigger.
Well, it's not just lawsuits. It's also mistakes made in the course of business. And it's also the fact that you can lose good talent because there's no relationship or a bad relationship.
Yep.
So it's costly when managers are not trained.
There's so many other ways to do this. You look at sexual harassment. That's just one side of it. And then you've got fraternity. You've got people that are working in the same office together 8 hours a day, sometimes longer. And there are going to be romances that come up. And with many romances, there are also rocky shores ahead. Yeah. And you've got to watch out for that. I have had the painful duty of separating people because I didn't want to lose either one of the talents, but I had the unhappy duty of putting up a wall in the building, a bamboo curtain, so you guys don't talk to each other ever. You're never in the same place alone ever.
It's hard.
Anything that you do that you have to do together, I have to be present for all of that.
And Guam is a touchy-feely community. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
The concept, as I said, there's a work husband and a work wife.
Yeah,
we have that.
I mean, we hug a lot, we kiss a lot. And some people take it to mean other things than what's intended.
Landmines
all the time.
Landmines are everywhere. Call Jerry Roberts at GuamTraining.com on the World Wide Web. I mean, a lot of times it's motivation, but there are some very, very key pieces of information that he will be able to pass along to you that could save your hiney in the long run.
Yeah, in the course of this, we have a course called The New Boss that we've created. It's about 10 modules, about 30 hours in length. It's going to also include an upgrade that will be coaching, and that will be so I can sit down with the individual.
As I say, it's a simple observation to make. I mean, I got here, Dundondonkey Village is hiring. I put this up on the screen earlier, and no doubt they're going to be hiring people for a number of positions, maybe even supervisory. There's manager all over the place here, et cetera. And we need a human resources manager in there as well.
Oh boy!
So if you've got some skills, go get them. If you don't have any skills, go and get yourself trained. Get your people trained and let them know where some of these rocky shoals and landmines can be found. Thanks for coming back in. Appreciate it.
Sir.
It's always fun getting extra time with the Extra Point guy, Jerry Roberts, in the studio, and enough time for me to say, remind you that this is 93.3 The Point, KUSG Agania. Pika's Best, I'm sure you've heard, headquarters for Fox News, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll hit that in about 3 or 4 seconds. Catch you tomorrow on The Ray Gibson Show.
Thank you.
To face the charges. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Former President Trump has arrived in New York City ahead of tomorrow's arraignment as he reportedly makes changes to his legal team.
On the eve of his arrest, former President Trump arrived at his Manhattan Trump Tower residence. The culmination of a historic trip aboard so-called Trump Force One from Palm Beach, Florida to New York City, where supporters cheered his motorcade ahead of his unprecedented court appearance. Fox News can confirm Trump has bolstered his legal team, hiring former federal prosecutor and top white-collar crime attorney Todd Blanche. Blanche successfully defended Paul Manafort, Trump's former campaign manager, getting state charges dropped in a New York case he argued was politically motivated.
Fox's Brian Ennis outside Manhattan District Court. This is Trump.